as a race. It's not that much slower.
Alright guys, good morning exiles, welcome to event number 16, the pro event. The pro players such as Zizaran, Freeq, GucciPradas, and SirCrushinton, aka SirCrushinton, will be participating in this race. This is a normal Izaro kill, and we have something special planned for this race. So for this event, we let the community vote on what skill or what skill class the players could choose. And we actually had 4,000 votes, so that's a lot of votes. I'm kind of wondering if I should just only say the first letter first. What do you think, Nuggy?
Yeah, far away.
Okay, the first letter of the chosen class is M.
No.
Of course it is.
What do you guys think?
Mines.
Did I debate Reddit?
Has to be.
You're
Has
chasing
to
us
be.
for mines because he's practiced.
The second letter is I.
My
Oh.
minions, yeah. Oh my god.
Oh my god, is it minions? Yeah.
Or mines.
It's gonna be minions.
The third letter is N.
Probably.
Please
Oh
be
man.
me.
Oh my god, is it I or E?
You can attack maybe both. What do you guys think? Let's vote.
It's gonna be minions.
I think it's minions now because you're debating us so hard.
Gucci?
It's definitely gonna be minions.
CrushingTen?
Yeah, I think minions.
Freeq?
Minions.
The fourth letter is E.
Oh, debated Reddit.
Feels good, man.
Get debated.
Feels
I
good,
knew it,
man.
Gucci. I told you, Ed.
That's good. I like that reaction. Any
So,
who do you guys think's gonna win this event?
Gucci,
Gucci.
he's been practicing mines for like 6 years.
I've only actually done one run, but I just prefer mines. After doing that race at Rise.
So maybe we should give them a little rundown on the requirements for a mine race.
Yeah, sure. You wanna do that, Nuggy?
Sure. Well, it's very simple. The remote mines is a level 8 support gem. So by level 8, you have to use mines.
I did not think about that.
You can obviously use Fire Nova mine as you come into. I said 28.
12.
12.
Level 12.
Then you're fine. But so from 8 to 12, you have to figure out some other mine combination.
Oh, so wait, is remote mine a quest reward?
It should be a quest reward, or
Oh, it is.
you might have to get a transmute to buy it.
Oh, what if I don't get a transmute?
As soon as you get a transmute.
You'll get a transmute. You guys
Potentially.
you guys can pick up rares and blues.
You guys are professional racers. I believe in your ability to get a transmute.
Can we buy it
And
from the vendor?
remember, there's like no fire traps, and there is a list of utility skills that are available once you start using a remote mine.
Oh, is that the utility skills you posted?
Mm-hmm.
Where's
Those
the
are
I
the
thought-
ones.
Where is it? Where is it?
We'll say though, well, Havoc, what do you think? Because this is kind of a restricted one, right? With mines, the totem. Should we allow any damage totem in this one?
I think totems are on the allowed utility skill list, so yeah,
Yes.
should be able to use
I
them.
mean, you'd have to go Shadow if you want to do mines because that's the only class with nodes, and Shadow doesn't get any totem, so it's going to be a non-factor
Wait, so can I use Ancestor War Chief?
on
No.
Shadow. What?
It says the war chief is not an allowed.
It's not
I thought it
allowed.
just said, oh.
I believe
not in
all
there.
the totem skills are on the list except for War Chief.
Yes.
So Protector's allowed?
They're not protectors on there.
Yeah,
I whispered you the list is.
Where's this list?
Whisper you.
Nuggy should be giving you guys the links in a second. But do you guys have any more questions? Remember, main skill has to be mine. You need to be using mine abilities by level 8 if you have the currency.
I can't use Flame Dash.
Flame Dash is utility, you can use it.
Oh, am I looking at the wrong list then? It's okay. Oh, it's the same thing.
Should be on the list.
Oh, didn't I? Oh, maybe I missed it. Flame dash is allowed. Don't worry.
All right. Oh yeah, I was about to. Yeah. Would have been a fun river race if Flame Dash wasn't allowed.
Yeah, that might happen in the 2v2 race later today if they ban movement skills. It will be interesting. Yeah, do you guys have any more questions on the rules?
I'll probably think of them as I go along.
Okay, so any trouble, just let us know. Players can go back to their corners, and I will be doing the commentators. Good luck, guys.
I don't have a timer, and I
Oh.
don't have 3.5 network framework installed on my new PC, and I think I have to restart to do that. So I can't.
Yeah, you have 14 minutes, and the timer is in the Reddit post.
No, as in I won't be able to. Like, is it fine if I
Oh.
race without a timer?
Oh, yeah, we can go
Okay,
someone else's timer. Alright, thanks again, guys, and good luck.
Thanks.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Alright, guys, how are you guys doing? Don, Uber?
Hey, how's it going, Havoc?
You guys ready? Excited?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thoughts on mines?
I like
It's
the
gonna
big
be a
reveal
mine
there.
race?
Yes, sir.
He was debating them into
Oh.
thinking it was a minion race. I was cracking up. Ziz's face was like beautiful right there. You're like, come on, come on.
I have a question for you guys. Who do you think is the favorite for this race?
Gucci, easily.
Don?
Washington was also practicing the same thing, but since he's kind of like Gucci's prodigy, then I'd say Gucci probably, but not as much as people think.
What about number 2? Since Gucci seems to be the crowd favorite for number 1. Uber, who's your number 2?
Oh wow, that's actually really tough.
I'd probably give it to Crushington with Zizaran close behind. I don't think he's played very many minors, so
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think so either. If CrushingTen was practicing mines already, with the expectation that it was going to be a miner, then he might have an advantage there.
He's definitely been watching a lot of VODs and just watching any race streams, so he might have that advantage. I think Ziz has just been playing the league, so he's not as practiced.
yeah, Crushington's also been like learning from Gucci and like bouncing race stuff off of him. I know he mentions him a lot when we talk about practicing. So
Exactly.
anything that kind of Gucci's gonna be really good at, I expect Crushington to have a little bit of insight into it.
What about Freeq? Do you think he's like an underdog or just like flying under the radar in this event?
Definitely flying under the radar.
You think
Yeah,
he could take
maybe.
rank 1?
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
You think he could take rank 1, you know, pull out the victory?
No, the last race I commentated, Baylor Mage kind of seemed like he was completely out of the race and ended up coming in first place.
Yeah, I think it's possible for him to pull out a win out of nowhere.
All
Looks
right.
like he's discussing things with Gucci right now, by the looks of it. Or maybe they're all discussing stuff. I don't know. Looks like he's going over the tree and trying to figure out what he's gonna do.
Yeah, I'm definitely curious what classes they plan. But we're gonna cut to a quick commercial break, and we'll be back in a couple minutes, guys. Stay tuned. Welcome back, guys. Just a reminder, this is event number 16, the professional normal Izaro kill, and the community chosen skill after 4,000 votes was mines. So players will need to use a mine ability at level 8, since that's the earliest you can get mine gem.
Character slots.
Oh, really? Wow. I might have technical difficulties right now. That is not good. Bear with me one moment, guys. My commentators cannot hear me, which is an issue. Apologies for that. Alright, I believe my commentators can hear me now. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, we can.
Alright, you guys just missed my introduction, but that's all good. How are you guys doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing today, Havoc?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you, Uber?
I'm doing pretty good as well.
Nice, nice. Good to hear. You guys excited for the mining?
Oh yeah, definitely. It was an interesting reveal there.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting minions, honestly.
Yeah, I think both minions and mines would be very interesting. That being said, I'll let you guys take it away and introduce our players and have fun casting. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, great. I guess I can do the top guys, and then you can do the bottom.
Yeah.
In the top left-hand corner, we have the blue-haired man himself, Zizaran, looking very concerned at his skill tree right now. Like he's not necessarily sure exactly what he's going to do for mines, but he has won races before, so we'll see how he pulls it out today. And then the top right corner, we do have Freeq, who is just saying hi to the crowd. There's no face cam, so we can't necessarily tell how much mom spaghetti he's feeling right now. But I feel like he's a little bit of the underdog and kind of flying under the radar right now.
That's a very stretched out high, too. In the bottom left, we have got Gucci, who probably is the favorite for this. He's done minor stuff before. And in the bottom right, we've got CrushingTen, who I don't know if he's even logged on yet. He's still on a starting screen for us, so
yeah. I see him on a starting screen, but I do see that he does have a character pulled up called Not Last Hope Kappa. So he has at least created a character. He might be ready. He might be hiding some sort of special strategy, but it looks like it is a shadow. So we'll get some more information as he turns on his stream here. What are you expecting to see here in terms of mines, Uber?
we're probably gonna see some Fire Nova mine. I don't know if people are gonna pull out some other skills. The rules state that you have to use mines starting at level 8 after Brutus, because that's when you get remote mine, or potentially even before Brutus if you hit 8 before Brutus. So that should be interesting. What skill people choose before you can get to Fire Nova mine.
We probably won't see like Frostbolt mine, even though that is something pretty popular. None of these guys will have access to threshold jewels, so it will definitely be interesting to see what they level with.
Yeah, I honestly don't know what the skill of choice is going to be from 8 to 12. 12 is one of those, is the level point. It seems kind of like GG makes it so that as you gain levels, you kind of get those more powerful skills as you get later on, with the exception of Sunder being 12.
Yeah, Sunder being 12 is kind of ridiculous, I think.
Yeah.
Let me double check here. Do they have access to summon raging spirits as a purchase? No, as shadows, they would not have access to that. So they couldn't even like meme their way into a minion build, which would be kind of funny.
Yeah, I've actually seen an SRS miner in the past, but that was when the SRS cap was at 50. I think that was Chasu Bao that did that in the past, and that was actually very effective. But I don't think that's going to be a thing here.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting because they haven't had a lot of time to really create a plan. They're pretty much winging it, and I wonder if we're going to see a lot of the same strategy or a lot of different strategies here.
I think that's the special thing about this race, not having a lot of forward planning for this race. You know, you can sometimes have a decent amount of time to practice, like a few days is more than enough to at least come up with a strategy. Having only like 30 minutes really puts the pressure on you.
Definitely will be interesting to see how they adapt and different strategies they go with. I think SirCrushinton is looking very calm. Obviously, we can't tell what Freeq or Gucci are actually doing, but Ziz looks like he's thinking about a lot of different stuff, maybe reacting to the chat, maybe changing a lot of his strategy around. And it'll be definitely interesting to see what they all come out with. Do you expect them all to stay Shadow?
Yeah, I don't think there's another good class for this. I mean, Shadow has so much damage. They're going to be doing a lot of damage on single target. That's one thing that I think they're not going to have a problem with is single target for just killing bosses and all of that. Because you get so much damage. There's so much... You're probably going to be going some sort of elemental skill on the top side. And then there's mind damage after like 10 nodes of damage. And then you're probably just rushing even more damage.
Yeah, that's definitely very true. There's lots of like trappers, miners, really well known for shadows. But I can't say that I've really seen too many miners coming out as like a level 8 skill. And so there's not really much good options for shadow, I can't feel. Like you need to freeze pulse mines or something. Like it's not really, it doesn't feel like it's made for that. So it's definitely gonna be difficult.
I can definitely see phrase pulse mines being a good idea, considering that you don't have a lot of options. And apparently there are bans on the utility skills as well. So there are, well, there's also some allowed things. So all curses, auras, heralds, and war cries are allowed. Ancestral Protector is allowed, which is interesting, but when you consider that Shadow doesn't get that, like, Templar is probably going to be the only one that gets that.
So we just had a switch here. SirCrushinton switched over to a duelist. I'm not sure. Do you think this is some sort of mule? Or is he actually going to be switching it around?
I don't know. Siege Ballist is actually allowed, which is
looks like we're off here.
Yeah. He might be getting a decoy.
That would not surprise me.
That wouldn't be a bad idea. Getting a decoy mule is actually really good for killing Izaro. So
yeah, we'll be able to tell here once if he leaves town, he's got to be on a mule because remote mines until Act 3. So he couldn't.
Maybe he's just running the duelist to a certain point, and then he's gonna meal the shadow for remote mine, and then go some sort of weird duelist ranger miner.
That would be interesting. Looks like Zizaran is the first one to kill Hillock, even though it looks like he was a little bit behind the other guys, and so he's gonna make it to town here. We're going to see what type of muling action Zizaran running in through the town, not using the logout macro. Do you think he's maybe just a little bit rusty or choice?
I'm not sure. I'm having trouble keeping up with him because I keep having a stream lag, and then every time I pause it, I get ads, but...
that's one of the great benefits of Amazon Prime. You don't have any of that issue.
Yeah, good point. CrushingTen has gone into coast, so it looks like a decoy totem, and that's actually... I actually really agree with that. I think that's going to give him an advantage, but if Gucci isn't going for the decoy totem, I think it might not be necessary. One thing to note as well is going to be that you don't have to meal Onslaught necessarily, but I think everybody's going to do it just because it's so powerful up to level 8. But when you're using mines, activating Onslaught with a mine, like when a mine kills, you're not going to get that Onslaught. So
those do get the ability to purchase Onslaught right out of the gate, so they don't necessarily need to mule it from another character.
Yeah.
But looks like people are pretty much around the same spot. Freeq's actually a little bit ahead of CrushingTen, which is surprising because I don't think CrushingTen even stopped to purchase anything. So he must have gotten a little bit better layout here. And CrushingTen, though, is going, looks like, directly for that decoy totem. I almost kind of expected him to maybe do like a second Quicksilver, and like, because he won't be proccing that Onslaught, like you said.
Yeah, perhaps that would have been a good idea. I mean, casters in general have to get a second Quicksilver.
Yeah.
So, or really want that second Quicksilver. Freeq actually has Spark as well, which is a good idea because that is a better single target generally.
And I do see here something kind of interesting. Zizaran picking up Frostbolt as opposed to the normal Freeze Pulse. I wonder if that means he's meaning to go like skill as a Frostbolt.
Yeah, maybe. Frostbolt generally not considered better than Freeze Pulse for racing. It does do a little bit less damage. And
just use melee attacks on Hailrake here to get him down. So having a little bit of trouble with the Frostbolt.
Yeah, that's Frostbolt is not a great skill for killing Hailrake and just in general. I think it's just kind of too slow and it doesn't do as much damage as Freeze Pulse.
SirCrushinton just vendored his decoy totem.
Did he really?
Yep. Pretty sure that he just did that. Would be a massive mistake. And yeah. Zizaran has no health pots right now either. So I'm not sure what the heck's going on there. Is he adding an additional challenge to this?
Oh, he just vendored his small life flask for a medium.
So this race?
So
and he's not level 3 yet. So
once he gets level 3, he'll have that medium right away. And that's just preparation for getting to Brutus. He's literally like 1 or 2 mobs away from hitting 3, so he shouldn't have a problem.
He equips this sooner than later. I wonder if CrushingTen already knows that he vendored that decoy totem.
Now, as long as he didn't, as long as he didn't delete the mule, he should be okay.
If he had deleted the mule, that would have been probably the worst thing that could happen.
Because the decoy totem only costs 1 wisdom, which in a race, 1 wisdom is actually quite a lot at this point in the game.
Yeah, he would also have to log over to purchase another one, so it is wasted time, which, as we know in these races, they can come right down to the wire. Looks like he is logging back out, isn't going back on his shadow, going on the duel list and fixing his issue. So hopefully that's what he's doing.
Yeah.
And the decoy totem, shaking his head a little bit, knowing he fucked up. And it looks like up in the top right, Freeq does have a speed shrine, so he is blasting his way right now through the title passage, making his way to the ledge. He'll be the first player by far to be in the ledge. Freeq pulling out pretty early in this race, pulling out ahead. What do you think about that?
Oh, acceleration shrines are pretty good, as it turns out.
Yeah, he looks like he went the wrong way there and still manages to just...
Yeah, he just wanted to go say hi to the Deep Dweller, maybe. I don't blame him for that. He's got the acceleration shrine. He's probably listening to Initial D in the background. He's a speed boy.
Very possible. Do you see the Freeq does have Freeze Pulse, looks like connected to Onslaught, so he is getting that Onslaught going and just really busting his way through the map right now. Ziz is catching up pretty fast, and looks like Gucci is onto the ledge as well now. And SirCrushinton still looks like looking for Title Island, and so he's a little bit out of the race right now.
Yeah, CrushingTen had a little bit of an awkward start, but again, he did mule that decoy totem, and that might give him the edge to catch up later on.
Yeah. Which bosses do you think the decoy totem would really make a difference for?
Mostly Izaro. That's pretty much about it. And Brutus. Those two... Well, Merveil as well, actually. And then some of the bosses in Act 2 can be pretty alright as well. But
Yeah, I would think like maybe Fidelitas or the Weaver, because Weaver can be a
Yeah.
little scary sometimes. It's
I
like,
think the
oh,
worst,
she's not doing anything, and then oh, I'm almost dead.
as long as she doesn't get ghosted. I've had Weaver get an Arsonist ghost before, and that's not a fun experience at this low of a level. If you get an Arsonist ghost on Weaver, don't expect to be able to just kill her. Her auto attacks do 75% of your life. It's not fun.
So in that type of situation, would you recommend just like resetting the zone, or what would
No,
be
you have
probably
to
the
tough it
fastest way
out.
to go?
And pray you don't die. One thing to note is that most of these racers are using Fire Trap Freeze Pulse. With Fire Trap Freeze Pulse, you actually have to move a little bit. If you want to pick up the onslaught, if you just Fire Trap and then immediately Freeze Pulse after, your Freeze Pulse is going to do damage before the Fire Trap goes off, and that means you're going to not proc your onslaught with the Freeze Pulse, because that doesn't work on Fire Trap.
I've heard some people
So-
talking that it might just make sense to not even use Fire Trap here, so that you can ensure that you're getting all of the onslaught procs with Freezing Pulse.
It's possible that it's alright, but the Burn Ground adds a decent amount of damage early on, and can be really useful for blue packs and such. And sometimes you just don't have the ability to Freeze Pulse. Sometimes you're like throwing it up a ledge, and just using Freeze Pulse in general is pretty awkward.
Okay. So it looks like we do have Freeq climbing the climb right now. Looks like GucciPradas is also in the climb. So he's definitely caught up a lot of ground. Ziz in the ledge, and SirCrushinton making his way through the egg phase. Looks like Freeq just got a transmute, so that'll help him out a lot. We know that remote mines, I think you do get it automatically as a shadow, but if he didn't pick that up, that he would purchase it for a transmute. So
Yeah, I do believe you should be able to pick that up. That would be really awkward if you can't, because if you're not lucky enough to get a transmute, well, what are you gonna do?
looks like Ziz is killing a lot of stuff here around Kaduku. Really just taking his time, making sure he gets to level. I believe that you do have to hit level 8 before you do Brutus as part of the rule set. So he's just trying to make sure that he gets as much experience as possible in an easy zone. He's going to run right through Upper Prison.
Yeah, Ziz picking up a transmute and ledge. He also picked up blue boots earlier on. He just identified those. Those just have evasion rating. So currently, I don't believe any of our racers have movement speed. I'm not able to check CrushingTen's character at the moment, though.
Looking at CrushingTen's character, he does have Fire Trap linked to Onslaught. So I don't think that actually does. Actually, an Onslaught is there by itself. So he doesn't have it linked to his Freezing Pulse. He doesn't have a blue-green. Another thing that's probably slowing him down as well. It's odd because I'm not able to check Gucci's gear. So maybe we can help each other out in that regard.
Yeah, Gucci's just got 4 items on. 2 of them are wands with a Spark Arcane Surge and a Onslaught Freezing Pulse. He has Rawhide gloves that are white and wool shoes that are white. So he's running pretty bare bones gear right now.
Well, is he the only person using Arcane Surge? Looks like. I think maybe. Do you think he'll be using that for his mine build? I know mines would proc that like almost all the time because they're pretty expensive.
Well, you can't use Arcane Surge on mines because I'm pretty sure the Arcane Surge. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily sure about the mechanics. Looks like Freeq is level 7 here, almost level 8, and he's doing the first trial. He is really ahead right now. Very, very far ahead. It'll be interesting to see like how he does on Brutus. I know that you do have to use those mines, so it might be a little awkward because we're very used to seeing people just kind of sit in the corner, if you would.
Yeah.
He
One
went back
thing
to
to
town
note-
immediately.
I do think that Gucci's delaying the trial. Like you don't really want to search for it necessarily on your first run through, because if you can get Flame Dash and dash over the edges, although I don't think that actually no, I don't think that works with Flame Dash. I think that's
Right.
Leap Slam only,
Flame
because Leap
dash
Slam
up
is a
those things.
little longer distance.
Well, you can definitely at the end here when you're going into the last trap set. Flame Dash does make it super duper easy.
Oh yeah, Flame Dash makes it a lot faster.
Super fast. Looks like Freeq is going for Spark Mines. It'll be interesting to see if he keeps up this particular setup throughout the rest of the race. Do you think that he might try to kill Izaro with Spark Mines?
No, there's no way. I think you have to use some sort of level 12 skill. You either use Fire Nova Mine, you might even like use Arc Mines.
And some people were joking around about Shrapnel Shot Mines. I don't think that's something that you'd want to do, but is that something?
I mean, you're allowed to use a Siege Ballista totem. That would be a possibility, but I don't think that's going to be a thing.
Okay, we'll have to see what people do. Looks like CrushingTen's at level 4 right now. Gucci, I can't see his level, and Ziz is level 7 with Freeq ahead here at 8.
Ziz is trying to get a mine. Gucci's going into Brutus, so we're gonna be on him for a second. He's got the scale vest on, pulling Brutus to the corner for that spark. And
Gucci is breaking the rules here because I believe that you do need to do Brutus with remote mine. So, but there might be some sort of penalty here for GucciPradas.
I think it's just you have to, once you hit level 8, you have to use mines. I don't think it's anything to do with Brutus. His flasks aren't amazing, and he doesn't have. Oh God. Brutus with some high roll hits here. Gucci's actually having some problems. Maybe we don't need to give him a penalty. Maybe he's gonna die here. I don't know. He's got 1 charge of life flask remaining.
Maybe he's trying to pull a Noogie here. Just do no health, not leaving Iron Man mode, and is going to. Oh my gosh, he is so low right now.
This is really rough right now. It used to be in the past, there were like these side areas, and he manages to get it down. It used to be in the past that those side areas, those little side cages in the Brutus area were.
Looks like we have Freeq coming up here, also going into Brutus right now. Those are so many sparks. So many sparks.
Oh man, I can't actually see right now.
Okay, well, he is using his mines, spark mines, and he's fighting him in the middle of the room, bang him over to the side wall, but keeps getting hooked away, taking lots of damage, and avoids a little slam right there. But those sparks are just going everywhere.
That is a lot of sparks. Holy crap. I was like a minute behind, but...
It looks like he's definitely got a little bit of a smoother time here than Gucci. But, you know, it's still not going as smooth as you normally see, where people are just like standing in the corner, face tanking, and laughing their faces off.
Yeah.
And
Brutus still goes down. If you could still pull Brutus into those side rooms, it would be really useful, because you can get the sparks to bounce off, and they have a faster ability to hit the same target again if they've bounced off a wall. You got a 3-link scepter off that too. I'm curious if he's going to end up using that, but probably not, considering that you're probably going to want to go minefield. He does actually have 3-link blue gloves, so he's already using the minefield.
What do you think he would put into that blue-green then?
It's going to be tough. Flame Dash, I believe, is allowed. Yes, it is. So probably some sort of flame dash, arcane surge, and then probably like onslaught just in case he kills with the hit of it. I don't know.
It'd be interesting to see if any of the players do remember to pick up Culling Strike. This lab today can be a little bit difficult. Today's conduits and portals, and portals might actually give our minor players a little bit of a problem. Conduits, you kind of just have to run around the room. Zizaran does have a second Quicksilver now, and that is something that might set him very far ahead. I know we talked about having CrushingTen mule a second Quicksilver, but looks like Zizaran, Iron Jesus, has smiled upon him, and he's been given something a little bit extra. Do you think that's going to allow him to catch up here?
Yeah, double Quicksilver is really useful on casters. But if you can see him trying to use mines, he seems kind of kind of confused, and it's kind of really awkward for him. He's trying to use Frostbolt, and it's like running into walls and just not having a good time so far.
Look as good as that spark mine we saw earlier from Freeq.
Gucci is also using Frostbolt mines at this point. And it looks like he has a 3-link for it, so he's got the minefield on. Ziz does not have the minefield, so that might be part of the problem for him.
Yeah. Only the one single Frostbolt coming out seems pretty bad right now. It does get some yellow boots. Probably gonna identify these. Maybe they'll have move speed. I don't think any of our players right now do have any sort of move speed boots. The only thing I see special here is Freeq having some life boots. It looks like Freeq actually might still be wearing a chest as he's running around.
That's a bug with. Oh no, he actually is wearing a chest.
I wonder if he just forgot. One of the things I have seen some racers do in the past is equip a wing or body armor MTX just so that you can be 100% sure when you know when you're wearing a chest, because that does slow you down. He's getting surrounded here by a Harbinger pack. We'll see if let's see.
Those Harbinger packs have really annoying range.
Oh yeah, so. especially the one with Flame Dash, because it just brings all its buddies to the party whenever it does the Flame Dash, and that can really kill you. I know it's killed me before in a race.
Yeah, those Harbingers are just really annoying. They constantly are with you, and Freeq opening a box.
Looks like
Ziz going into Brutus.
Yeah.
And I cannot keep Ziz's stream up to date like at all. But
like
here we go.
On a 2-link Frostbolt mine. This doesn't look like he's putting out any damage. It's almost like he's auto attacking. Might even be better to auto attack at this point. Really feeling the downfall of not having the 3-link. But he looks very smooth. Frostbolt, chilling as it hits, is doing a lot of work, but very slow work.
It's just tickling Brutus with the balls. That's all he's doing. He's got the MTX on even, so he's looking to do some really good.
Yeah, he's definitely making it look pretty, even though it's looking pretty rough. Looks like he did put lesser projectiles in there, lesser multi-projectiles. So even though it looks like he's got minefield, he doesn't.
Yeah, it looks like he was doing it for charges, and he just remembered to put his chest on. And that spike floor is really annoying, and he is now out of Mana Flask. And yeah, he has to port back to town and figure that out, and he hates this. He's not having fun with this right now.
Yeah, definitely not.
That's one of the tough things about it when you have double Quicksilver, and wow, he actually got hit by that slam.
Yeah, it's definitely very sketchy. So
yeah,
minefield is a blue, so you'd think that
he does get some rare boots, so hopefully those are something decent. He really needs to get that minefield ASAP.
Yeah. Able to find
we got CrushingTen on Brutus now.
Yeah, CrushingTen, he's I believe on a 3-link, so we'll see how this goes. Looks like he does have the decoy totem going, and Brutus is spending all of his time just hitting on that. So we'll see if that works out. Looks so much smoother than Ziz's kill right now, but he is running pretty low on mana. He only has the small mana flask left, so maybe these ads will help fill up his mana flask. Ziz probably a little bit extra issues because he has 2 Quicksilvers, probably on boss fights. I'm gonna switch that out a little bit.
Yeah, for casters, you probably want 2 Mana Flasks and a Life Flask if you're going to be doing bosses with 2 Quicksilvers, but you probably just want to switch one of those Quicksilvers out right before bosses or something.
CrushingTen having a little bit of issues here with mine targeting, because mines will pretty much hit on the closest thing to them, kind of like frat boys at a bar, and they are just hitting on all the skeletons instead of hitting Brutus, so there's kind of going everywhere. It's a little bit of issue.
I mean, we're getting pretty close to October, so hitting on skeletons, I'm not really surprised by that, considering we're gonna have Halloween coming up here soon.
Oh, well, these aren't the sexy type of skeleton Uber, so don't get it confused. Looks like Freeq just picked himself up a Chaos Orb off screen here, and so he is officially the richest guy in this race.
Oh man, maybe he's gonna trade for that. Ziz getting a resub from Pause.
Do you think that's gonna help him out there? Give him a little bit of extra PMA, if you would.
Yeah,
We
maybe.
do have Freeq up in the top right now. He's going directly up against Merveil. Very interesting. He's on Merveil. Other people just finished Brutus, so he is way ahead right now.
Oh man, Ziz almost running into that ball lightning that just hit him for like 60% of his life. Freeq is on Merveil.
Yeah.
And those spark mines just look insane. The one thing
Look
to
at the
note
spark
is that
mines.
they don't have any damage immunity on their mines right now, so... Oh
Well,
god, and... How did he actually manage to
believe-
kill those swords?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I might have been I think it was the Orb of Storms.
Oh, Orb of Storms, yeah, that would explain it. Because
3.0,
the
I
spark
believe
doesn't...
they changed mines, by the way, so that they do have the damage immunity when you first drop them off all the time now.
Oh yeah, they have a little bit of damage immunity. That was a really fast Merveil. Holy crap.
Super fast Merveil. Maybe we'll see mines for Merveil in the future here.
The thing is, if you're dropping mines and you don't detonate them immediately, AoE things like the blizzard attack from Merveil is gonna break them, and you're gonna lose damage out on that. You're basically gonna spend mana for nothing.
I definitely don't want to waste your mana, as we've seen a lot of players having a lot of issues with mana during bosses. Freeq, though, way ahead, even crushing Gucci right now in terms of just pushing through. As we know, looks like he just dropped his spark. He is not going to do spark anymore. Fire Nova Mine coming out, and no more sparks from the Freeq.
Yeah, Fire Nova Mine is really, really strong single target. I think he his idea to go Spark Mines to start out was actually a really good choice, considering it actually does cover a lot more area. Doesn't need that LMP for clearing, and also has really good single target. Spark is already considered pretty much the best caster single target skill at the start. Gucci working on Merveil now.
Yeah, Gucci's definitely working on Merveil. The other guys are not anywhere near that just yet, but those Frostbolts seem to be doing a lot of damage as well. Probably not as much as the Sparks, but it'll be interesting to see if he sticks with Frostbolt. Do you think he'll switch over to Fire Nova Mine, or?
I'm not sure. Gucci running like having a lot of mana problems, and I think he might have died there.
Might have died. That was a really close call.
Gucci dropping that portal on top of Merveil made it really hard to click. You have to click that. You have to click the name of the portal if you want that to be reliable.
Yeah, it looks like he did spawn out by the TP, so he probably didn't die, but that was about as close as you can get it to an escape. So very lucky there.
Yeah, it's
Cold
very tough
skills.
to tell. Gucci. Oh my god!
Oh my. Not phased though. Gucci's still just going at it. He is not even doesn't even have a large life flask at this point, which makes him the only racer not to have that. But he just seems to be tanking it up and does get the level off of the Merveil kill.
Yeah, and he's finally gonna have remote. He's gonna have Fire Nova Mine ready to go. He's got a new wand.
And just this development right now looks like Freeq did just pick up 15% movement speed boots, which I believe makes him the only player to have move speed boots. I think that's going to be very massive for him, don't you think?
Yeah. He's still wearing that chest, though. I think he might have been practicing Duelist too much, because after like level 8 with Duelist, you generally don't get a movement speed penalty from a chest. He might have forgotten that the chest is giving him a move speed penalty.
At this point, he's so far ahead. He's got so much speed. Who knows? Maybe just thinks better safe than sorry.
Yeah,
Zizaran
generally,
working his way towards Merveil
yeah.
right now, as is CrushingTen, and Gucci slowly catching up here. But it'll be interesting to see what kind of choices he goes with.
Yeah, generally, you don't want to go for an armor or armor ES piece either. You want to go with something with evasion on it for the less movement speed penalty. But with the 15% move speed boots, he's still running faster than any other racer.
So even though Shadows, I don't believe, get Firestorm, do you think like Firestorm Mine would be something that these players would consider if they had access to it?
It's possible. I've tried actually doing a literal Firestorm Mine build before, but then I realized that the targeting works the exact same as Fire Nova Mine. So I think Fire Nova Mine is just going to be more reliable, considering it's pretty hard to get something to the center of the mine exactly for maximum damage.
So when you say that it works the same as Fire Nova Mine, are you saying that the Firestorm casts on top of wherever the mine is? Ziz
Yep.
is on Merveil, by the way.
Yeah,
Okay.
it casts right on top of it. The only thing that comes from the sky that works, that like actually targets something is Blast Rain with mines.
So it looks like
Rain of
Ziz-
Arrows lands on the mine. Firestorm lands on the mine. Blast Rain for some reason targets enemies. I'm not sure why.
So it looks like Ziz did dip out of Merveil, went back to the ship graveyard, probably trying to get 12 here so he can use Fire Nova Mine.
Yeah, Ziz was not doing like any damage to Merveil. So I think
that decoy totem.
he's pretty done. You know, I'm hearing Etup saying I'm done when I look at him, and he just wants 12 for that Fire Nova Mine. It looks like.
Yeah, it looks like CrushingTen's doing a pretty decent job here with his Frost Bolts, and that extra minefield damage really kicking in. I wonder if Ziz just kind of forgot about minefield at this point, because he does have a triple blue dipping really low for CrushingTen there. Might go down. Freeq and Gucci both pulling far ahead in Act 2.
Maybe he doesn't have a maybe he doesn't have the transmute for the for the minefield at this point. You know, you can get really unlucky sometimes in those.
That would be very unlucky.
Yeah, sometimes you just get really unlucky. You don't get like any blues whatsoever, and you can't vendor anything for transmute shards.
Right, so
Ziz now hitting 12. He is on his way back, being extra careful not to accidentally TP out and lose his portal and have to run all the way back.
Yeah, and definitely not logging out either. So CrushingTen's still working on Merveil. It seems to be taking a significantly longer time. Like, what do you think that? Why is that?
It's Frostbolt is not amazing for killing Merveil. Obviously, we had the fastest Merveil from Freeq, and Spark was very clearly like really good.
Gucci somehow was doing extra damage with his
Yeah.
mine setup. So I mean, he did use Frostbolt, as I recall.
Yeah,
so.
I'm not sure what he did differently. Gucci does have a +1 fire already, so he should be doing some really good damage now. But we've got Ziz and CrushingTen both on Merveil and working away at it. I think CrushingTen might have just switched to Spark Mine. Yeah, he just switched to Spark Mine.
I'm not sure he's been leveling up Spark though, so looks like he is getting like pretty much destroyed by the Merveil pillars. Like maybe he doesn't realize. It looks like it's just having a difficult time.
Yeah.
Yeah, both
Ziz has
and not using their 3-link blues for their mine skill. Freeq and Gucci are still just on their 3 links though.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. Oh, well, other than... No, he just has remote mine. Ziz is using added lightning on his Fire Nova mine and doesn't have a second blue that's... Actually, he doesn't even have a second blue support gem for his Fire Nova mine right now. Really needs to get that minefield as soon as possible.
Rare boots that have a blue spot. I'm not sure why. I guess he doesn't have the transmute. Looks like he's going to be picking up every single blue item here. Like maybe you should even just portal back to town and grab everything. Nope, he logs off.
If you keep track of things, which that's one thing you have to do as a racer when you're min-maxing, you have to figure out, how many rares, how many blues, just how many transmute shards in general do I need in order to get the gem that I need. He's looking for that. He's looking for that minefield, and he's got it now. So he's going to be running on a 3-link now.
Yeah, that's going to be a big game changer for Ziz here. Crushington not having to go back to town is making his way through the Southern Forest quickly. Freeq looks like he's already in the Western Forest. Doesn't look like he's looking for a Lyra. Looks like he's looking for the Weaver. So he is way ahead. I believe both him and Gucci did do the Chambersons 2 trial. So both those guys is really tearing it up. And right now we have 3 out of 4 players using Fire Nova Mines. I'm assuming that you're assuming that Crushington is going to switch over to that as soon as he hits level 12.
Oh, more than likely. I can't really see another reason to not use Fire Nova Mine, considering it does free up a link slot for you. Arc Mine is really only a thing in like Cutthroat, because they just do insane damage.
So one thing I do notice here is that Freeq does have a 2 to 21 lightning damage wand, while Gucci has a +1 to fire. Which one do you think is better for these players?
Right now, you definitely want that +1 fire eventually. So Gucci's probably doing more damage, but eventually that 2 to 21 lightning is actually going to be the better wand, because you'll have that plus a +1 fire. So ideally you have both. But right now the +1 fire is just going to be better.
Did see Freeq just run past a greater life flask. He still has a small life flask and a large, so kind of interesting flask choices coming out from him. Gucci actually caught up in terms of the flask game. He's now on 2 greater life flasks. I think he killed Brutus with 2 small, so he's actually leading the pack now in terms of flasks. And
Freeq getting another acceleration shrine. Oh my god.
Need Freeq. PogChamp for that indeed. Although he might have some mana issues here with all the mines that he's going to be laying down. He's doing a lot of damage to the Weaver. Definitely prayed to RNGesus this morning, that's for sure.
Yeah. Excel Shrine actually does speed up your mine placement, so that's going to be useful. Yeah. He does need to look for that 3 blue wand at some point to try and get a +1.
So it looks like I don't know if he picked a reward off Silk there. Maybe the Trap and Mine support will be a good way to go. Maybe Conk Effect. What do you think that the 4 link will be when they go to Izaro?
I don't think anybody's going to be getting a 4 link. I think you just want to use the +1.
Really?
But
+1 all the way.
Yeah. I'm surprised. I don't think I saw him pick up a faster casting. You know, that's probably a good thing to have, because he needs to be looking for that 3 blue wand, and then he can use those 3 blue gloves to have a faster cast Arcane Surge, Flame Dash, and that's really useful, because then you get the Arcane Surge bonus for your spell damage, and your Flame Dash gets faster because of the cast speed, plus obviously the cast speed from faster casting, and yeah, I'm kind of surprised if he didn't pick up faster casting.
It looks like a Freeq right now is on a blue red in his wand, and maybe doesn't have the links just yet. I think those move speed boots, he does have those 15%ers. I believe he's still the only person with move speed. Really just doing a lot of work here, especially because you don't have onslaught.
Yeah, no onslaught is a big deal.
Everybody else right now, because he's got 15% move speed. So
also picking to do crypt before you get faster cast Flame Dash is also an interesting choice.
Well, you should be able to purchase it, but I guess he just doesn't have an alteration.
He does have a 2 link on Flame Dash, or no, he doesn't. I'm blind. I thought there was a 3rd support on there.
Looks like he's going to go maybe for this Artisan Strongbox. No, decides to skip it. I know Artisan Strongboxes can be absolutely ridiculous if you're racing as a melee champion. What sort of things should these players be looking out for as they're going through as casters, though?
Artisans are still very good, because those supply you with oh man, and you even get a Contempt Essence. They do supply you with Wisdom Scrolls, and Wisdom Scrolls are a very big deal, considering this is an Izaro race, and picking up some blue gear can be pretty useful in making sure you survive. And especially since he doesn't have a decoy totem, he's probably going to need that gear. And he's going to have some problems, I think, later on.
To see if that decoy totem does make all the difference for CrushingTen, because he'll pretty much be able to sit there and keep Izaro distracted and get Izaro to go exactly where he wants him to go, while everybody else is going to be running around like a chicken. So I do
Yeah.
remember that we did see, I believe it was Q-Dog using the Fire Nova mine on Izaro race before, and did have a lot of issues because Izaro kept, chopping him up as he was trying to use his mines.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a concern.
Really
Looking
showing
forward
his
in this
power here
race.
on Fidelitas right now. Oh my gosh, he's absolutely blew him up. Took no damage at all. Decoy Totem winning the day. Big time there.
Gucci on his way to the Crypt Trial now. He just finished up Creighton. I think Freeq is on his way to Creighton now. I think Gucci's catching up here a bit.
Yeah, it seems like they're very close to one another. Gucci definitely closing the gap a little bit. The 15% move speed boots probably helping to keep Freeq just barely ahead, but I believe Gucci doesn't have any necklaces or any rings at all. He's just kind of going a little bit YOLO on the gear.
Yeah. It's surprising that he doesn't even have rings yet. He actually is using Orb of Storms, and he did remember to keep Arcane Surge at level 1 this time. So that's a pretty nice thing to have. One Orb of Storms cast is going to proc Arcane Surge for him at this point. So,
and I know that you mentioned before having that Flame Dash Arcane Surge faster casting. Which one do you think is better, to try to keep Orb of Storms as your Arcane Surge skill, or to try to hook it up to that Flame Dash? Ziz getting a huge box here, by the way.
wow, that is a lot of loot. I think the Flame Dash is better, especially in the Izaro fight. If you can dodge with Flame Dash, and if you have faster casting on it, you can use that super fast. Although you're generally not getting cast speed as a miner, so that is an issue.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that's also kind of interesting is, what flasks do you think that they will go into the Izaro fights with? Miners, requiring a lot of mana, not able to log out and go back or portal out and get any more mana. Do you think that we'll see like 0 Quicksilvers, or maybe just 1, 2 mana flasks?
We should. It's going to be tough on the mana flasks. I think people are going to be helping Alira, because you're going to get that. You're going to get those LA resistances, and LA resistances are a big deal. Did Gucci just log out with a Quicksilver flask on his screen? I could not tell what that was. There was something with a pink border there.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily 100% familiar with Gucci's loot filter. Everybody using, looks like, their own little custom loot filter. Do you believe that maybe having more of a standardized filter might be good for these type of races?
It's really tough to say. The standard caster filter should be good enough for these races. Generally, caster filters have 3-link blues and blue reds highlighted.
More in terms of just having colors so that the viewers can tell, ooh, that's a big item. Whereas that yellow leather belt right now, I have no clue what that indicates. So
yeah,
Ziz is killing Caitlyn right now, and it's going down pretty smoothly. That Fire Nova killing everything in the area. Freeq is setting up to kill Oak right now, so a little bit ahead. And we do have CrushingTen working on heading towards the Weaver. I'm not sure what Gucci is in the middle of doing right now. Looks like he might be heading to Oak as well.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure everybody's going to be helping Alira. Caitlyn memes. Oh god. That
normally pretty strong choice for bottom lane, but we'll go in with Alira instead.
yeah. The barrage from Izaro. Sorry, what?
So today's lab is conduits. So do you think that because of that, people are going to be going Alira, or?
No, I think you just go Alira no matter what. Because the barrage from the goddess on Izaro's back, it does a lot of fire damage, and fire resistance is very useful for that. The mana regen is also very useful, so they can drop they can drop like 1 mana flask and just use 3 life flask, 1 mana flask for
Wow.
Izaro.
Gucci absolutely destroying Oak right there. Oak pretty much just died in a bunch of fire, and seems like he's doing a lot of damage. He does have 2 Heralds on right now, whereas Freeq is only using the Herald of Thunder. Do you think like there's some sort of reasoning for that, or does he just not have the materials to purchase it just yet?
Probably doesn't have the materials to purchase. That's generally why you don't run Double Herald, is just not having the materials for it.
CrushingTen keeps on getting a bunch of trade offers, as we see. He's not actually using Herald at all. He's using the Frozen Trail skill. So
Oh, he's using Arctic Armor.
Yeah, Arctic Armor. That's the word I was looking for.
I think
that
he's
is a
looking.
mistake?
I think he's looking for a safe kill. That's not necessarily a bad thing to do. Fire Nova Mine is going to be really tough on Izaro, considering how close you have to get for him. So
Let's see, he's gonna be killing Caitlyn here and doing a decent amount of damage here. Fire Nova Mine, obviously very good for this sort of thing. Does get Greater Life Flask, helping out quite a bit. Freeq and Gucci both looking for the Shadow Ball.
yeah, Caitlyn goes down really fast. Turns out Brand Support is a good counter pick for Caitlyn.
Yeah. Damage really does come in handy. That stun as well can really change the game.
Yeah, and Ziz already going for the Crypt Trial. Unfortunately, finding Crypt level 2 before finding the Trial. He's level 17. He's almost the same level as Gucci at this point. Freeq is actually level 18 at this already.
Doing a quick gear spot check. Looks like Ziz does have like almost 100 extra life from gear, but only about 15 res added on. Whereas Gucci looks like has a bunch of fire res, a little bit less life. Freeq has 28 life res. He is lightning res capped at this point with about 20 fire and cold res combined, and then SirCrushinton 0 to life, but does have a decent amount of fire, cold, and lightning resistances. Who would you say is probably in the best gear situation at this point?
I would say CrushingTen, actually, not because of the gear, but because of the decoy totem. He's the only one with a decoy totem here, and that's going to be a pretty big deal.
And decoy totem is pretty OP. I know I've like stated that it needs to almost get toned down even more. As we recall, like during the Atlas of Worlds, people were just spamming it and abusing it to kill Shaper. They did tone it down a little bit by adding a cooldown, but do you think that is still a little overtuned, perhaps?
It's really tough to say. Decoy totem is really, really strong, though. It's probably one of the strongest skills in the game. I think that's part of the reason why melee totems are as strong as they are, too. Considering if you use a melee totem, you're probably not using a decoy totem. So it's tough to say, considering the strength of other totems right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I believe chieftain totems do also get that taunt effect. So that is part of the reasons why they're so strong and so safe, because as a player,
for chieftain,
getting hit.
That's pretty insane. Oh god, and Gucci logging out. That was a good log out for him. He's saving himself a time penalty. Hopefully he got the waypoint. He did get the waypoint as a backup.
That would have been a massive problem if he had not. In that type of situation, if you don't have the waypoint there, wouldn't it be better just to die?
He might have died. It's hard to tell because there is a little bit of delay here and there. But that was an Ice Nova box that he logged out from. And he was stuck in the middle of that, so he was really low when he logged. If the Ice Nova went off, he was dead.
Yeah, we'll have to check at the end of the race. We will get a slash deaths from all the players. And so if he did die during one of these logouts, we will find out. Don't worry, guys. And looks like he is still using 2 heralds. CrushingTen with Arctic Armor still, and then both Ziz and Freeq are only using the Herald of Thunder. I'm expecting that we'll see the Herald of Frost coming out from both of these guys once they get a little bit more loot. Do you think anyone's going to change up their skill gems as they go towards Vol? Are we going to see some conk effect for the boss?
Probably not, because you still want the two best gems. You have to obviously use Remote Mine. Oh wait, well, not for Fire Nova Mine actually, but
So we do have right now Ziz on the Weaver. He's using Fire Nova Mine, Minefield, and added lightning damage, and the Weaver is absolutely just melting. And Freeq is working his way towards the wall. He is using Control Destruction as his third link. So maybe not as good as Conk Effect, but still a lot of damage. I do see a difference here. GucciPradas is using Elemental Focus as his third link. What are your thoughts on that?
LA Focus is interesting. It's the higher multiplier by, I think, 5 or 10%. I think it's 10%. And I am not sure that it is better.
So Ziz did have a Combs ring and decides to sell it, so not interested in using a unique ring for the memes.
And he's having trouble deciding on what gem he wants. Does he want the Trap and Mine damage? Does he want that Elemental Focus? He does go for the LA Focus. He's wearing a chromatic chest. He should probably vendor that for the chromatic. And considering that's an ES chest, why, like, there's no point in using that.
Looking at the different guys' gear, Ziz currently the only racer to not have a +1 fire weapon.
Yeah, that's really bad. He really needs to get that +1 fire.
Just kind of confused about what he's doing here and wasn't necessarily prepared to be a mine racer, and that's hindering his efforts here.
You know, he did a finger gun to his head earlier. I hope that didn't give him brain damage.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe he just needs a little bit extra Red Bull, maybe a Coca-Cola, and get himself back in this race. It does look like Ziz is heading to the right to get those mine nodes over there, whereas it looks like several of the other racers are heading the opposite direction. What do you think about these passive tree choices?
It's very interesting. I would think that Volatile Mines is the way to go right now. But you can tell Freeq is actually is Freeq at Val? He's looking at the passive tree very yeah, he's at Val.
He's at Val, way ahead of everybody still. And
he had a lot of time to check out those passives. So makes a lot of sense.
Mines doing a lot of damage very quickly here to Vol Oversoul. Vol Oversoul does go down into a peekaboo phase. Zizaran is on Oak, so lead here.
Gucci is about to start Val in a moment here, but Freeq is
he's probably
hoping to get him. Yeah, trying to get him down before the ad phase, but unfortunately, Val does finish that ad phase.
Looks like he's probably around 40 seconds ahead. He doesn't even bother to kill all the ads here. He's just going to go straight for the kill, gets the kill right away, logs out, not waiting for that door. And Vol Oversoul is coming up right now for GucciPradas. And we'll see how many peekaboo phases he manages to get through. Gets one right away, so no RNG today.
Yeah, and he is activating that Arcane Surge with Flame Dash. So, Val at half, hopefully not spawning ads, and he spawned ads. That's unfortunate.
Yep. Goes right into a second peekaboo phase. Sometimes the here is really important. Looks like he's also going to be ignoring some of these ads and just going straight for the kill. Dodges a slam, and it's getting really close here. All right, got the kill, and it's going to be logging out.
Yeah, he just completely leaves everything behind and doesn't even loot anything at this point. He's not even interested in vendoring any of that. There were no rares in that or anything.
I'm wondering if he's getting a little information, knows that he's getting very close to Freeq, but because Freeq slowing himself down with the chest, does have those move speed boots, but still gaining on him.
Gucci does have a Vow Orb in his inventory. I'm wondering if he's going to use that on boots and try to hopefully get a reroll or at least get a 5% move speed implicit.
That would be very interesting to see indeed. We'll see who finds the crematorium first and who gets through all the trials. I do know that the slums area can be a little bit confusing for some players. Do you have any sort of tips for getting through it quickly?
It's really hard to explain. I was watching Nugi try to coach Llama on how to read this zone earlier, and kind of made me realize that we don't really have a way to describe it. You really want to stay on the lower ground if you can, like the way Freeq is doing right now. If you're staying on the lower ground for this long, you're probably going the right way. Although, yeah,
It looks like he has found it.
Yeah. It can be really, really weird sometimes, and it can be a really long instance. That was one of the shorter instances in that case.
Looks like Gucci might have just found 4 Link boots. I'm not necessarily sure about the colors just yet, but that could make a massive difference. They're all blue. And what do you think he's going to use those for?
I honestly don't have an idea. Maybe he's planning on crafting some spell damage wands with because the rustic sash recipe that you see for duelists that works for casters with chain belts is just generally not relevant.
Mm-hmm.
So
definitely,
maybe something like that.
He tries to go with the 4 Link as opposed to the +1 fire.
Yeah, maybe he adds control destruction. It's tough to say.
Yeah, control destruction, maybe conk effect for Izaro. Probably not conk effect, but those would both do a lot of damage and might be better than the +1.
You see, Freeq is actually taking his time on the trial here. He's not rushing for the levers, and that might give Gucci the edge that he needs to hit all the trials. Also, I'm not sure if Freeq talked to Clarissa. It seemed like he blasted through the Sarn area, and I don't know if he actually talked to Clarissa at all.
So it looks like Freeq decided to do a Essence of Fear here. Maybe like he's looking for some sort of roll on a wand or something. And he does blast that down really quickly. Yeah, Freeq does have 15% less fire res than Gucci, so Gucci might be a little bit more willing to run his way through. Ziz is spending a lot of time on the login.
Ziz is having problems. That's not good.
Ziz-E looks like he is having from his chair, hands up in the air, saying, "I'm done." Get out of his chair, and we'll see.
His internet is he's not able to connect to the servers. Oh, he just connected to the servers as he left.
The second he steps away from the screen pops.
Oh my god, and Gucci just dropped really low from a box.
So that was a detonate dead box. And so second time, Gucci's been having a little bit of box problems. Looks like there is a rogue exile in there giving him a lot of hard time. We just get some yellow boots. It'll be really interesting to see if he identifies these, if he gets move speed, will he be able to close the gap with Freeq? We'll find out here soon.
I'm really curious as to what happened to Ziz there. I think he just lost a whole lot of progression. I'm not sure what caused him to log out there. I think he just like straight up disconnected from the servers. He had no connection whatsoever, and he just lost a whole lot of progression.
We have an empty chair right now, and Ziz might be out of this race. Gucci.
I don't know about you, but I think that chair is gonna win.
That's probably the best looking chair on the stream right now. Gucci identifying those boots and no movement speed. Getting really unlucky today. RNG just not on his side. So he is going to replace his belt though. Zizaran not out of this race just yet. Comes back, looking at some different options for gear. Gucci also going back to Act 2 here. Maybe picking something up. Freeq pulling way ahead. His way through the sewers. He did just pick up, I believe that was a control destruction, so might be looking to use those 4 link blue boots.
Yeah, perhaps it's Gucci picking up the flammability. Still has not used that Val Orb yet.
So something I just saw is that Gucci did type into his friends list and searched for Freeq, so he's trying to keep an eye on his competition, probably not getting fed any info from his chat, so having to do it all himself. We do have SirCrushinton going up against the Vault Oversoul, and we'll see if he manages to get through without 2 peekaboo phases. Will be very interesting. Vault Oversoul does do one right off the bat, though.
Yeah, Val always starts off with one, and so that's pretty much a guaranteed thing. Having
Using
some
that
mana
decoy totem.
problems.
If that decoy totem does keep Vault Oversoul busy up on the top side, he's doing a lot of damage. Decoy totem tanking a slam. Right now, not getting peak buffets. Really slow here. That's
a lot of slams. And that Arctic armor, running through Val with the Arctic armor does slow him down. So
will he be able to get
does
the kill
take
here
him-
before the peak buffets? Oh, it's so close. His mana is so low.
yeah, he's having a lot of mana problems right now. Val does go down.
That's very good for CrushingTen. He does need to catch up here. Right now in the third position, Ziz significantly behind now due to the internet problems. Gets his second unique item, totally worthless for him.
I didn't manage to catch what that unique item was, but I'd imagine there's not a lot of good uniques you can use early on. Oh, there actually is some that are pretty alright. Usually a lot of the early uniques have some sort of resistances unless they're a weapon. If it's a weapon, it's pretty useless for a
Card
caster.
ring, so the increased physical damage, chaos damage to attacks, both worthless. The extra life, life regen could potentially come into play here since he is just using, I believe, plain coral rings. Like you might want to switch it up.
Yeah, if Ziz keeps it up, he might be able to catch up still. He just needs that PMA. Other racers can still die, and you can always catch up.
Yeah, a death in the lab can set you back up to about 10 minutes sometimes, depending on where you die in the lab. So Ziz is definitely not out of this race. We've seen more surprising comebacks. He is like way down on levels considerably. He's 4 levels behind Freeq and Gucci and 2 levels behind CrushingTen. So definitely probably not as prepared for mines as he was for Sunder.
Well, that disconnect also, I didn't get to see if he actually might have rolled back. Even like that might have been on GG's end. That might have been on his end. It's really impossible to tell if where the connection fault lies.
So a little bit of update here. GucciPradas is using his Fire Nova mines in that 4-link blue boot, using Minefield, Elemental Focus, and Control Destruction. At this point, I guess that must be better than a +1 fire.
I would imagine if he's doing it, it's probably better. And he's actually using the Flame Dash in the +1 fire instead, which isn't a bad choice, honestly. Flame Dash, Burning Ground can do damage, and the hit does do damage, and you're allowed to do that. And he has a really weird filter bug right now.
And he does have a yellow one in his main hand that does have spell damage, mana regen, and life gain on kill, although that life gain on kill probably not helping him out too much. Mines. Looks like Freeq is
you sometimes do get the burn. Oh God, Jesus, Gucci, please stop going low.
Gucci seems to be the king of low HP in this race, consistently just scraping out with his life. Do you think all of the racing practices help give him an edge of just living in those type of situations?
Maybe he's going for Pain Attunement strats. I don't know. You do pass by Pain Attunement as a shadow with this tree that he's using, so Pain Attunement is an option.
A little bit of a noogie low life boss killing build. That would be interesting.
And CrushingTen also taking it a little. Well, no, he does decide to dash over the Fire Grates. The Fire Grates don't do a lot of damage early on. I believe they're balanced to more so as if you don't have cap fire res.
Which is interesting because CrushingTen does have 45% fire res, so he probably could have taken that a little bit more aggressively. I'm not sure if he's keeping an eye on his fire res currently.
Yeah, if he took a Lyra, I think he might even have more than that.
Yeah, that is possible. I'm not sure if this thing picked that up. Yeah, so if he did take a Lyra, he's almost fire res capped. The Zizaran having barely any resistances, Gucci having only fire res from gear, and looks like Freeq has a little bit of everything, mostly lightning res. He should be capped with a Lyra.
You can really see that lack of movement speed right now between, like, if you look at Gucci versus Freeq, Gucci's just slugging along, and Freeq is like going Usain Bolt on everybody, just sprinting around.
So one thing I do notice is that Freeq's boots do have maximum life on them, which means that is a prefix, just like movement speed. So if he was to try to re-roll these, he'd have to either scour Alk or Essence or use an alteration to attempt to get move speed. Do you think we might see him try to do that?
Maybe. I'm not sure. And he's saying WTF at some ring he got. I think he got a cast speed life ring or something after using a random essence on it.
Who is this?
Freeq.
Oh, yeah, it looks like he
It's
does
probably
have
not updated. Oh no,
lightning damage, cast speed, maximum mana, and minions have movement speed. Good.
Yeah, it's pretty alright. It's generally what you pick up random essences for is just random alks. So
Essence definitely assisting the leveling process in a lot of ways because it does basically provide you with a free alk with one guaranteed mod. So even though that fear kind of a wasted mod for him, free rare is still a free rare.
yeah.
Many of these players do find an essence of woe before they make it to the Izaro room.
Ziz getting questions about animate weapon, so I
Do you
don't know
think-
about that. They're asking if animate weapon is still worth doing.
What are your thoughts on that?
It's all right. I honestly wasn't too big on Ziz's because the low life just didn't get enough ES, unfortunately. But it
Also, we
still
do
does a
have-
lot of damage.
So we do have Freeq in the docks right now, and he is taking a lot of fire damage, but he's really just pushing forward. He's not seemingly farming in here. When do you think that we'll see Freeq hit that Labyrinth door?
Ooh, it's gonna be a while. He might grind for some XP even. Again, he doesn't have the decoy totem, so Izaro's gonna be really tough. I don't know if he's prepared for that. Hopefully we don't see some repeats of last week's races with Dust to Izaro, but we've got Ziz on Val right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's finally coming back from that from the disconnect earlier from the internet issues. I'm gonna have to go back into the VOD and see what exactly happened. What like how did he end up logging out and getting stuck on logout?
Getting a little update here that Ziz got debated into a huge dead ends. But maybe that PMA will help him out, like help him out with the Izaro fight. And I know that he has been hanging out with Q-Dog just a little bit. Maybe some of that PMA has rubbed off and will help him out here, choosing not to pick up the magic boots, which could have had movement speed. But he does kill the Vol over Soul and is going to be heading into Act 3 here, hopefully closing the gap between him and the other racers here shortly. CrushingTen working his way toward the docks, and we do have, looks like GucciPradas in the bottom left farming in the docks as well. But he is level 24, 2 Freeqs level 25. And it'll be interesting to see when these players decide to go into the Uber Lab.
Yeah, and it's going to be really interesting to see what exactly they how they're going to do in terms of just defenses against Izaro.
Looks like Ziz did just get a +1 fire, so he's kind of catching up a little bit delayed. Freeq doing a lockbox real quick, and he is heading towards the last trial. You think he might just YOLO go for it?
Yeah, potentially. It's gonna be tough though. I don't know how he's gonna fare against this. I'm getting an update here that Ziz did not log out. It was actually the London servers actually went down. That is really, really unfortunate.
Definitely very unfortunate. Unfortunately, we can't have all of the players on the same server as they are located all over the world. So things like that can happen.
Yeah, Gucci has always been at a little bit of a disadvantage considering where he lives. It takes him really long to get instances running, so there are disadvantages based on some locations. So just really unfortunate that the London server went down though.
Which server might have the best connectivity?
For Ziz, when I was playing on EU servers, I always liked Moscow. Moscow was always the most reliable for me.
Okay. Yeah, living here in Washington, D.C., my server pick is obviously very obvious. Looks like Freeq having a little bit of trouble getting back to town. Does have all the trials done, so we'll see if he's heading back into the docks to farm it up a little bit. CrushingTen really close behind. They're both level 25 right now. Not CrushingTen, Gucci is also level 25. And Gucci looks like he's caught up a little bit in terms of XP, but Freeq is still ahead ever so slightly. I do notice that he is using the Arctic armor just like CrushingTen. Do you think that Arctic armor is going to make a big difference compared to using 2 heralds?
Yeah, it's probably going to make a nice difference, and it's going to help a lot on Izaro.
Doing an Essence of Hatred right now. Ooh, it's allies cannot be killed, which is very scary. And,
but Fire Nova Mine's single target is just too good. Gucci
very,
is
very
now
strong.
done with all trials, and is he going to be heading straight into the lab? I cannot tell. He might be. Gucci, I do believe, has experience. I think has he done a Izaro mine race before?
I'm not entirely sure. It looks like he is doing a lot of shopping, a lot of thinking right now. Nope. Looks like he's going to go for more experience. Doesn't look like he has the battlefield waypoint though. Oh my gosh. Having a little bit of server issues here. He's going back to the city of Sarn, looks like, to farm, as opposed to try to figure out. Do you think not farming docks is going to be a big setback for him?
I don't think it's going to be too big of an issue. It's definitely going to put him down a little bit. But Freeq also didn't have the docks waypoint, so he had to run back to docks from Battlefront.
Still a big difference farming the docks versus farming the city of Sarn. It's going to be a big XP difference for them.
Yeah, I wonder, like, he is 25. I guess he could go back and he could farm Battlefront, although I think the pack size there is pretty bad. Gucci getting a box though, so he is making up for it, even though he's in the probably the inferior farm zone right now.
And the city of Sarn still pretty dense, and Ziz helping out Tolman's bracelet off of his arm, and still working his way towards. Really have to admire Ziz's dedication here to racing. He knows that he's in a really bad situation. He knows that he's behind the other racers. Knows that shit has happened to him, but he is staying in this race. He's staying committed to seeing this all the way through. Level 27, I am getting an update here, will be another level on Fire Nova Mine. Do you think that we'll see both Freeq and Gucci leveling up to 27?
No, because Gucci's going in. Gucci,
like, fuck it, I can't do docks. I might as well go for it.
Gucci, I think he might have just been looking for a chest to wear for fighting Izaro.
So, the lab notes today for all of our viewers out there. Today's lab is going to be a Izaro with conduits and portals, but there is an option to get a trinket for both of these phases, which would disable either one conduit or one portal. Do you think that we'll see players go for that?
The trinkets are actually very useful in these races, so probably. Looks like Gucci might. No, he's not going for it. It looks like.
Looks like Gucci
But
Ooh, going very low. He's running along with a Roomba there, getting swept up.
That discharge though.
Having a very difficult time.
That's really rough. He's not having very good instances. It doesn't look like his resistances are too good. He's prepared for Izaro, not for the dischargers.
Yeah, I was talking with Gucci earlier. He's very confident about doing the lab, very well known for doing the lab in hardcore. I believe he's like the merciless hardcore lab farmer guy. And it was very confident with conduits, but said that portals were actually the worst, I believe, for low-level races. What are your thoughts on which mods do you just not want to see in the lab as a low-level guy?
I think they all have problems, but portals is definitely an issue Those mobs are actually very tanky, and I don't even know if they give flash charges.
They most certainly
Freeq did get the orb to disable portals.
Yeah.
What's the weapon for today for Izaro as well?
I believe he is dual wield. So yeah,
Oof.
double sword. So wind slash riven action coming out. And Freeq is actually a little bit ahead here, level 27, dipping really low there. Looks like he was at about 100 HP, really getting sketchy. But he is trucking his way through the lab, heading into the first Izaro, even though he got into the lab a little bit second. He was the second one in, going into this conduit phase.
Gucci actually went out of his way to go get level 26. He must have been really close to a level and just said, you know what, I'm just going to go get level 26 real quick. Maybe he's planning to hit 27 in the lab.
My guess is that Gucci was like, I'm not getting any experience here, but yeah, I need to hit this 27 before I get into phase 2. Ooh, Freeq eating a wind slash, running around in circles. He has permanently disabled one of the conduits, but the other one is active right now, kiting around Izaro, doing a good amount of damage here with that Fire Nova mine. Both conduits are active right now, so looks like he's trying to put them both down at the same time.
Unfortunately, the one that he permanently disabled is the fire one, and he probably would have rather permanent disabled the lightning, considering he's wearing 2 cold fire rings.
Actually, he does have
Oof.
30. Ooh, lots of damage. He does have the most lightning res out of all of them. So, looks like he does have lightning res on several other pieces of gear.
My tracker actually says he has 13 fire res for some reason, even though he's wearing 2 fire cold 2 stone rings. So that's questionable.
Yeah, the fire conduit also does give Izaro fire resistance. So maybe that's why he went with that one.
I think it's just because it was the first one to pop up.
Yeah. Both fellows are working on Izaro right now. Freeq finishing out first. Obviously, he was in first, but Gucci right on his tail. Do you think that the 4 link compared to the +1 is really giving him an edge here?
I think Gucci's experience is speaking here more than the 4 link.
Freeq acceleration shrine third time. Wow.
Oh my god, dude, we're gonna have to like. Did he talk to Dead and Doom for his RNG right now?
His new nickname is Speed Freeq. Looks like he did just run away from, I believe, the corner that the Dark Shrine is in this zone. Does find the decorative chest really easily. Will be shredding that first portal, but potentially not getting a Dark Shrine in the zone. Eats a trap. And
this is the bug trap layout. You need to be careful on this trap layout. You have to sprint through that. All of those traps are actually pressure plates on that layout. So
not good.
If you see that chest next to those traps, you have to be really careful with that. But he is trying to run through the zone, and apparently, D&D is rumored to have coached Freeq before the race, and maybe he gave him the secrets of really good RNG.
I'm also getting an update here that it's potential that Gucci did not do the prison trial. I do remember seeing him pass it by, so I have to maybe review the VOD here and make sure that he did all of them.
Yeah, that would be pretty bad.
Looks like both fellas are heading into phase 2, Izaro, with the portal, shredding them up, and CrushingTen standing right at the door to the lab here.
CrushingTen doesn't have a chest. I think CrushingTen might have some problems, but he does have that decoy totem, so... Oof! Gucci taking 60% of his life from one hit of an auto attack.
Chat,
that is
Gucci did have a fresh solo self-found league, so he definitely had to do the trial. So must have just missed that. My mistake. Thank you very much, chat, for updating. Looks like Freeq is having a really easy time actually doing these mines.
Yeah, Freeq is doing pretty well. He does have that extra level on the mines.
One thing I do notice
from
is
being
that,
level 27, 28 actually right now.
Yeah, the extra level is really showing off right now. I believe flammability is level requirement 24, but we don't see either thing right
He might. I don't think he. I think he just doesn't have the sockets for it. Gucci, look at the difference in life totals here. Holy crap! Freeq has 730 life. Gucci has 397.
That is a large difference. Mostly it's because it looks like Freeq has a lot from gear, but Gucci has almost none. So that's a big difference.
Well, Gucci, oh no!
Gucci,
He just got
rest in
one
peace.
shot.
So now that puts CrushingTen into the second place position. Freeq has to be feeling good. I wonder if he's getting fed information here that his competition has gone down and we'll be playing it a little bit slower.
Yeah, doesn't look like any of them are talking on Discord. They are all muted in the channel in Discord, but they're all sitting there together.
A huge shortcut in Solaris. He didn't even have to almost do the entire instance, and he got right to the waypoint. So huge shortcut, really good for Ziz. Might be able to catch up here if Gucci is on tilt and dies a second time. We might see a Ziz third place finish.
We've got CrushingTen full screen right now, and he is working on that Izaro. Decoy Totem helping out a lot. It only survives for 2 hits, but that's all you need. And barely dodging that wind slash. He might have even evaded that.
Completely out of mana flasks right now. Really needs to farm it up. Does have that Conduit of Flames. Doesn't look like he took the time to get the trinket, unlike the other racers. He doesn't really seem to have a lot of damage. He's only level 25. He's using a +1 fire, and it's taking a little bit of time, even though he does have that decoy totem helping him out. Oh, getting really low, eating barrage, getting surrounded by skeletons, and he is on like 0 flasks right now.
Yeah, and CrushingTen goes down.
Looks like Freeq's on the main screen right now. Not main screen. He's on the last fight right now, and so we might see a Freeq finish right now. Does break
and Gucci is also back on the first phase.
Did CrushingTen just die, or did he log out?
Yeah, CrushingTen died. Freeq is full screen, and he is looking to win this race. 3 Excel Shrines are pretty good, and
something to note is I don't believe any of our racers did bother to pick up Culling Strike, which can make a huge difference in that last phase of Zaro. Do you think that's something that we should see racers be doing in the future, especially from these pro racers?
I think it just takes too much, and it's not worth the time. Gucci dropping really low, but Freeq is kind of taking his time here. I think he's playing it pretty safe. He is the only one with move speed, I think, at this point as well. So he has a much easier time dodging Izaro. This is probably going to be a pretty easy win for him. He's got the stats. He's got the damage. He's got the levels. And
he's got the Dead and Doom Freeq RNG.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be first place. I think those spark mines even paid off a little bit. That was a really good pick on the early on.
Freeq either. So perfect, easy claps in the chat, please. You think the spark mines you said though were really making the difference?
The spark mines gave him the start that he needed, and Excel Shrines are pretty good though.
Yeah, 3 acceleration shrines, especially
Gucci going down again. Oof.
Gucci
I think he's having some life problems.
And jammed.
Freeq definitely redeeming himself after last week, getting that glove enchant. I have no idea what he got. I don't think he even knows.
So CrushingTen now actually in second place with 0 deaths, actually with 1 death, and Zizaran might be catching up here, especially if Gucci is really on tilt and isn't able to finish.
Both times Gucci died in lab, he's just laid there for like 30 seconds. Probably some baby rage going on there.
Yeah, a little bit upset. Maybe Nugi could help him out with a little bit of knowing how to deal with bosses when you don't have a lot of HP.
Yeah, maybe. It's pretty tough though when you just get 1 shot. I don't know. Maybe we have to check the tapes here. Maybe we accidentally got Kriparian on here. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. Do you notice that CrushingTen actually has less HP significantly than Gucci? Maybe that decoy totem really coming into play, but not having any movement speed for anybody but Freeq is really noticeable. I know that I've had a lot of issues in the past when I haven't had move speed for Izaro, and it just makes the fights so much harder.
Crush casually doing that skill-based block, totally planned out and blocking out a wind slash. That could have killed him. Oof, and I think he's gonna have two. Yeah, he has 2 conduits active.
That is definitely not good. He's not using a body armor, I do notice. But hopefully it's the fire one that's down. Do you think that we'll see him go for the trinket here?
The
Have his
trinket's pretty
heralds
quick
on
to
right
get.
now, by the way. There's no heralds on for Gucci. CrushingTen using that Arctic armor, but no heralds at the moment. But we'll see what happens here.
Gucci just put on his heralds. There's no point in not running them, because there's no way you rush to Mind Over Matter fast enough and still have good damage, so...
At least not as a shadow.
Yeah, not as a shadow. Zizaran going to pick up some trials now. Gucci going into first phase again. Hopefully he can...
Stay away from the slam jam. Yeah, that'd be great. We'll see what happens. I notice he hasn't really picked up any of the like any health nodes, it looks like, even though that's probably part of the reason why he keeps dying.
Yeah. Shadow has some really good has 2 really good health nodes early on. Oh my god. He is literally almost getting one shot every single wind slash.
Almost every single one. And I know you were joking around about the Pain Attunement build, but at this point might have been a good pick for him. He doesn't appear that he's picked up the conduit trinket either. Really just trying to blast through here. I personally think that getting the conduit trinket is a huge difference, because instead of juggling 2 balls in the air for the conduits, you only have to deal with 1, and so, or 2 of them. So can we make a big difference? CrushingTen on the portals phase right now.
Gucci dropping low again. He is really pushing it close. I don't know. I think Gucci's having a little bit of struggle. I don't think he's feeling as confident. He seemed like he was doing really well earlier in the fights, and then he got that first death, and now he just, oh my god. CrushingTen goes down. Gucci drops low at the same time.
Dies. PogChamp on his face, really tilted now. One thing to note with the 2 guys, both Gucci and CrushingTen, is that they are not level 27. Freeq did take the time. He got level 27 before heading into the lab, had an entire additional level on his gem. Both of these guys just throwing their corpses right at Izaro, hoping that that extra gem level doesn't mean enough. Doesn't mean anything, but doesn't seem like what they're doing is enough right now.
Gucci looks like he's going to be going for Dark Shrine here. I can't tell if he just passed a Dark Shrine. I think he did.
Yeah, he did pass the Dark Shrine. So Gucci seemingly kind of ignoring a lot of the race, like of the lab mechanics that you would normally think that would give you an edge. If you do get like a permanent speed shrine, that can make
better yet a
big
Divine
difference.
Shrine.
Yeah, Divine Shrine, easy game, and looks like he's going kind of the wrong direction here. Maybe he is looking for a second Dark Shrine, but there's really no reason to go into this room unless you're going for a Dark Shrine right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's tough to say. Ziz is actually entering lab now. So Ziz has caught up here.
How that goes. Ziz also level 26, so has kind of caught up in levels. We'll see if he does take the time to like slowly level up. I think if Ziz takes his time, hits 27, gets the Dark Shrines and the trinkets, he can come in second place here.
Yeah, potentially.
That would be really impressive. I would love to see that. Right now, the deaths are 0 for Ziz and Freeq, 2 for Gucci and SirCrushinton, both in the Labyrinth.
CrushingTen looking to potentially change that to 3 in a moment here, because he is running low on life flasks. And by low, I mean he literally has none. And finally gets one back. Trying to kill ads.
He's doing a lot of work, but maybe he's not super experienced with setting it up, because I do notice he is dropping it pretty close to Izaro each time. And takes a melee hit from Izaro despite the decoy being out. All 3 conduits currently active.
Oh my
Ziz
god.
actually at least has the most experience, most HP out of the 3 guys.
Probably has the most damage too. Oh my god, his scepters though. Holy crap.
both other players besides Ziz going for wands. Ziz has 2 scepters, and wow,
And
they are both amazing.
Yeah, those are incredible. They both have some sort of percent damage on them, as well as added damage, and he is using a 4-link helmet.
So Ziz definitely, I think, in my opinion, has the most damage out of the 3. And it's going to be really interesting to see if Ziz is able to pass these guys here. Gucci, I believe, working towards 3rd phase Izaro. And I don't believe that Ziz picked up. Oh, he did pick up the thing that's going to knock down the conduits permanently. So it's taking his time, doing it right. And not getting level 27, though. It'll be interesting to see how he does.
Yeah, Gucci has hit 27, so he has that +1 level now. CrushingTen managed to get through... Oh god, CrushingTen hitting that bug trap layout.
Ooh,
That was really scary.
really scary. Also because it was in a dead end. And it was almost a dead end for CrushingTen as well.
CrushingTen does...
phase 1.
CrushingTen does have 0 conduits activated, so that's a good thing.
Equip a shield, so really showing Izaro the respect, even though he doesn't have the move speed. He is, slowing himself down a little bit with both a shield and a body armor, but really just wants to be tanky.
Actually, that shield speeds him up. It's +3 move speed. It's -3 +6 from the implicit, so it's +3, and that shield is amazing. It has all res, fire res, cold res. So I can see why he's using it. It's a pretty good choice, I think.
Fire res being very, very strong.
Yeah, but all the res is going to be useful considering there is a very big possibility that conduits end up being up. It looks like Gucci's going into the last trial.
What is our death penalty for this race? Is there a possibility that Ziz could still come in second, even if he does finish a little bit slower?
Yeah, very, very possible. The death penalty is 2 minutes. So we've got CrushingTen on phase 2, we've got Gucci on phase 3, and we've got Ziz on phase 1 right now.
Gucci really putting on his game face right now, knows he can't get one shot another time, and hopefully he's able to pull out this finish and not get slam jammed.
CrushingTen having some problems. He has no life flask. He's super low on life.
And I believe, as somebody just pointed out, there's like 1 minute left on the timer. So if somebody was to die, they would be disqualified. Looks like Gucci
has finished. And he's going to have 2 deaths on the penalty. I believe that's 2 deaths. So no deaths before the lab. Despite the insanely close logouts. CrushingTen somehow still alive. I thought for sure he was dead by the time he was going to be dead by the time I looked back at him, because he was having a lot of trouble. He's getting overwhelmed by those portals.
Ziz going for the Dark Shrine. If he does get something juicy here and might just push him into the second place, he does get permanent defenses. So for the rest of the lab, I don't believe he can get another Dark Shrine that gives him a permanent shrine, but he will have additional armor and evasion and energy shield if he has any energy shield.
Does it give evasion? I thought it was just armor and ES, but it would make sense if it gives evasion.
So that means Ziz now does have 217 energy shield along with 600 life. That's going to be a big difference compared to the other racers. Ziz going through that bug trap set, and he does need to get under 133 to come in second place. It'd be really interesting. He is really focused, that chin dropping down the floor, and is really kind of taking his time here. Ziz, you need to speed it up, man, if you want to win.
Yeah. He might still beat CrushingTen. It's going to be tough to say. CrushingTen is still on that second phase right now. He is struggling, but he has all the ads down. It is just a 1v1 with him and Izaro. Just kidding. He just summoned skeletons. And he's going to take a win slash for 60%, and he has no flask again.
CrushingTen looking really sketchy situation. Hopefully he's able to focus up. CrushingTen newly promoted to the pro leagues. Doing really good.
And he goes down.
CrushingTen dead. And I believe time has expired to enter the lab, so that might be it for CrushingTen for today. Havoc is going to give us a judgment call on that.
CrushingTen is at 3. Time has expired. Ziz.
Expired for CrushingTen, so someone needs to let him know that no more racing for you today, buddy. That's very unfortunate. He did do a really great job, despite, as this is his first pro race. Definitely give him some easy claps in chat, please. He did do a really great showing here. Did just tilt a little bit in the lab, so still very good effort. Better than anything I could possibly do.
Yeah, he did. He did a good job. It was tough. Unfortunately, got a bit overwhelmed on that.
So Ziz needs to kill Izaro in 1 minute and 10 seconds in order to bring home second place here. I know
that's not possible
really
at this point. He's in the second phase. It's
Only
literally
second
impossible.
I thought he was going to the third phase, so yeah, definitely not going to happen. It'd be interesting to see if he does end up hitting 27. He's almost there, but safe.
He's got a lot of life, and if he plays
Energy
this
shield
well,
as well.
yeah, he's even got energy shield.
He almost has as much energy
Skill-based
shield as
block.
50. He almost has as much energy shield as 50% of some of the other racers' HP, so that might help him be extra tanky here, as you don't need to use your life flask as much.
Yeah, and he's doing a lot of damage to Izaro. He might actually leave a portal at this rate. He's not going to do that, but those portals went down super fast. Holy crap.
Yeah,
He has a lot of damage. That slash barely even touched him. Like, it didn't do any damage. He lost like 20% of his life.
Yep, that defense shrine really showing off in both terms of evasion and armor and energy shield here. And so really showing the power of the Dark Shrine. I believe that Ziz is the only racer to pick up any Dark Shrines in the lab. And really just showing his strength. He's got the time here. I believe he's going to get third place, but it's probably going to be a very easy finish. If Ziz didn't get screwed with that disconnect and some other things early on, and we might have seen a second place finish from him.
Yeah, just going through those trap layouts, easy peasy.
Freeq saying in chat that he did have some life nodes. So Gucci accusing him of taking gear from Stash, but it's not something that happened.
Yeah, he did have a lot of life though, so I could see why he would think that. That 700 life on Izaro that quick, it was insane. But what's more insane is 3 acceleration shrines.
Yeah, those 3 acceleration shrines really surprising, really helped pull ahead, and having those 15% move speed boots for pretty much the entire race really made a difference. Ziz, not as stressed right now, knows that he just has to play it safe and he'll get third place.
Yeah, guess who else had move speed boots that race?
Nobody?
Yeah, nobody.
Nobody. Ziz hitting level 27. And like I said, he did go a completely different direction in terms of passageway. Do you think that might have set him back a little bit?
He didn't even go for the instant mine detonations. I think he was planning on. I don't think he counted the amount of points it would take to get the mine immunity stuff. But
and that is one of the difficult parts of this race, is that we did only give the racers a 20-minute heads up for what skill they're going to use. So not having as much experience with mines might have hurt as it is here.
Yeah, it looks like he was going for either the pen or the mine immunity, 5-second immunity stuff. It's hard to tell, but I don't know. 20 minutes should have been enough to count that. Maybe you should play some Hearthstone. That might help him count some lethals and.
Yeah, that might help. Also, I hear there's some Path of Exile racers who are really good at Hearthstone. Maybe they could give them some tips for how to count. Doing
maybe
a lot of damage here in third phase. Izaro dodging the wind slash manually, and really, I think it's going to be an easy cleanup for Ziz. I don't foresee him dying here, since he does have so much effective HP, 800 effective HP.
Yeah, he's got third place pretty easy.
But anything can happen here, and that crit wind slash would end his entire race.
Or London servers going down again.
Yeah, the London server going down would absolutely be bad.
I think my computer would be out the window at that point. But it looks like he's gonna have a pretty clean Izaro kill, and That's going to be third place for Ziz, more than likely. Any moment now. Please just finish
There we
it
go,
so I
man.
can breathe. Thank you.
Zizaran coming in third place. Definitely great effort from all the racers. If we can get some easy claps in chat, they all did a very great job.
I think Ziz is actually the only one to hit the ascendancy
did as
thing,
well.
and he is spec'd into Saboteur. He is going to be our only Saboteur of the race, I think, and he's not even going to spec a notable.
And I think Freeq did go and get his ascendancy as well. So Gucci still sitting there in his Izaro room. Can't believe that he didn't win. But it looks like we're going to have some interviews here shortly with some of the players. And what type of questions are we going to be looking to ask these guys?
How does it feel to get 3 acceleration shrines? That's one thing. Because we're probably going to go to Freeq first up. And how's it going, Freeq?
It's going well.
So,
Congratulations on your win.
Yeah, thanks.
So, first in the race, how does it feel to get 3 acceleration shrines in the race, man?
It's pretty good. Forehead.
Classic Dead and Doom answers. Did you
I
get
mean,
any coaching
yeah.
from Dead and Doom?
He just told me to go Spark Mines, that's it. And links for Fire Nova Mine.
Yeah, those spark mines were. I think you were the only one to go spark mines early on, and I think that paid off huge.
Yeah, the damage on Brutus or Merveil was so insane, like crazy.
Yeah, I believe everybody else went with the Frostbolt mines, which was not very impressive for clearing and doing bossing. So you were thinking about doing the Frostbolt mines?
Yeah, I was thinking about mulling Decoy Totem too, but I didn't think it's needed.
Well, with 700 life, you probably don't need it either.
Yeah, I had like Shadow Life, the ES life nodes.
Oh yeah,
and
with the resistances.
Life, ES and resists on Shadow.
Yeah.
But really good resist too. I found Insane Ring and like 15 MS, but so yeah, my RNG was pretty good.
Hey,
Yeah.
it's probably the best RNG out of all of the racers. Had you been practicing mines already, or was this totally?
I never like leveled with mines ever. I played mines only once, but I was like playful mines.
Okay, so this was definitely something that you weren't really prepared for, but did manage to pull out of your hat anyways. Congratulations, that is pretty impressive.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Do you think you're going to be ever playing any mine builds in the future?
Probably not, unless it's OP.
Well, Glacial Cascade mines are doing pretty well recently. So
yeah, I wanted to roll low life GC mines for OVD, but I don't know.
And Glacial Cascades definitely that very popular skill right now, especially with wins showing how good it can be in racing as well. Is there anything else that you think that you did that really was kind of setting you apart from other racers?
I don't know. I wasn't even like try-harding on anything. Like, I don't know why everyone was so behind me. Because like Gucci is way better than me. And I don't know.
Well, between the spark mines and the Excel shrines.
And the 15 move speed boots, you did get those pretty early on, and you just blasted out ahead of everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were the only person to ever get movement speed boosts. Nobody else managed to get any move speed.
Yeah. RNG was OP.
RNG definitely OP. I did notice that I don't believe you went for any of the dark shrines in UberLab. Can you talk me through your decision-making process there?
Yeah, I actually forgot about them. I don't know, it's like 30 seconds waste. I didn't think I need them after first phase. It was pretty easy. Just needed to take my time.
I can agree with that. You had plenty of life. I don't think you really needed them, and well, with how smoothly Izaro went, I can definitely say you probably didn't need it at all.
Yeah, I wanted to go for 28 at first for Glacial Cascade Mines, but yeah, damage was so good on Fire Nova Mine, so I didn't really need it.
Yeah, Fire Nova definitely doing very, very strong. Is there anything that you learned in this race that you're going to take into your next races?
Not really.
Okay. Well, any additional questions from either you or Havoc?
No.
No, nothing.
Okay. Well, congratulations, Mr. Freeq. We definitely gave you a lot easy claps, and that luck was definitely OP.
Can agree.
Maybe that's what we need is more Dead and Doom coaching. Maybe that's the secrets of RNG. But yeah, thanks for racing. Congrats on first.
Yeah, thank you guys.
So we're
Alright, so
gonna
go into Gucci with the second place. And looks
hey,
like
Gucci, how's it going? Other than complaining to Ziz in PMs.
I know. It's okay. It's okay. It's the day started out with a win for me, anyways, because I debated Reddit. So you know.
How did you
That
actually
is
end
that.
up debating Reddit?
Wait, you didn't see my post on the Reddit?
I saw a
definitely
post.
not.
I can't remember what it said.
All right. I'll link to you and Dawn.
Please no mines don't torture me like that. Oh wow. I see. So your plan was to actually debate Reddit into making it a mine race and hopefully feel comfortable in doing a mine race.
Oh, I mean, like contrary to like popular belief, I haven't done like many much mine runs. I only did one with Rise. And, other than that, I was just practicing ED Contagion Shadow, but mostly Duelist Thunder. So, but after that one race I did with Rise, I was like, oh, this mine thing is pretty cool. So I wanted to play again. So I just put that comment, and it worked.
So what you're telling us is in the future, Reddit shouldn't believe anything you say. Okay.
That is true, or is it?
All right. So Gucci, we do have a question here from Zizaran. Why are you just a shit person? Backstory for this.
Why am I just? Did he actually ask that?
Yeah, look in
your game chat.
Oh, what? Oh, there. Oh, I see. Dude, I was like looking in Havoc's chat, and then I was like, oh, where is this? Then I was like able to control F Zizaran to find it, but cool. It's just friendly banter. But I mean, is it really being mean if it's the truth though? Eh?
Oh man.
You are actually just a shit person, and Ziz is not being mean to you. He's just stating facts.
No, that's not what I. This pretty smart, eh, Don? Pretty smart.
Yeah, I'm just reacting to what you're saying. So if I hear there's some backstory to this, so that be I'm sure there are plenty of interested people to know the backstory of the situation.
I'm sorry. Wait, what situation? I just shit talk this all the time ever since the Legacy 1 week, when his chat was going off on my team, saying that we were account sharing, we were RMTing and stuff. So it just started back then.
Okay. To throw a little bit of negative mental attitude, hopefully trying to affect Zizaran's PMA. Do you think that you've ever been successful in damaging his PMA, or is it just too damn strong?
Oh, I mean, back in the Legacy 1 week, we told him he was power napping, and that like tilted him pretty hard. So yeah, it worked. I guess it has worked in the past. We were just staying up for like 36 hours, but then Steel told him we were power napping. He's like, I can't do that shit. So yeah.
Well,
So,
hopefully PMA will continue to overpower this negative mental attitude. As a community, we definitely do prefer PMA over NMA.
So is there anything you felt like you could have done differently?
Not get debated by Frostbolt Mines. So Ventura was like saying, oh, Frostbolt Mines should be good. And I was like, yeah, I'll try it out. So I like tried to pick up every single blue item to get the extra transmute for Minefield. And then apparently it was worse than Spark Mines. But yeah. Was
Spark
it like
mines,
a big difference?
Spark mines did insane damage, and they were really good for clear in comparison to the Frostbolt mines. They just had a much wider area.
Yeah, because when I hit Merv, I looked at where Freeq was, and he was in forest encampment. I was like, oh my god! And he was already level 12, so which meant he was already fine over mining. Like I wanted to hit 12 before Merv, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't find enough packs. I was like 11 and 75%.
Well, Freeq also got a total of 3 acceleration shrines, so that might have been part of it, I think.
One of the things I noticed that I believe you were the first player to get to Brutus, but you weren't level 8 yet, whereas I believe every other player did hit level 8 before going into Brutus, so you weren't using mines. Was part of your strategy to get to Brutus before hitting 8?
Oh yeah, because I didn't want to kill Brutus as mines. I didn't do any testing, so I didn't know if it was good or bad. So I just decided to go in like at 7, almost 8, so that I don't have to do mines on him. And I didn't think I would have 2 transmutes, which I didn't have anyways. Like I only managed to vendor out blues and rares for 2 transmutes after Brutus. But then the
Yeah.
Brutus fight took like ages, so I don't know. I didn't have the flask.
Yeah,
I
your
didn't
flasks
lose-
are bad.
Yeah, terrible flasks for a long time. I did notice you had probably the most close calls. You probably had more close calls in this race than every other racer combined. Kind of what happened there? You, I believe, opened a lockbox that had Nova that almost killed you.
Oh, in Northern Forest?
Yeah, I think it was Northern Forest.
Yeah, then I logged out, right? Yeah, that box pretty intense. I didn't want to log out, and then at the last second, I read the Ice Nova, so I just instantly logged out. But I knew, like, Avenger was telling me in chat that Freeq had 15 MS. So I was like, and he was already, like, what, 2 minutes ahead of me when I was on Merv. So I knew I had to, like, try to go as fast as I can. And then I died in lap, so it feels bad.
Okay.
Did you actually hear from chat that Ziz had the server disconnect on him and he couldn't actually, like he actually disconnected and lost a whole lot of progress?
Oh, really? Damn.
Yeah, the London server literally crashed in the middle of the race.
Shit. Yeah, where was he? In Valorant or something?
I think it was
in
in like
Valorant at the
Northern,
time, yeah. No,
Oh,
yeah,
Northern.
but he
Oh,
had to
he
go
lost
through
all his
Val
elements.
runes again.
Oh, he didn't get the waypoint?
I believe he
I
wasn't
don't
that far
know.
yet.
I didn't catch it.
Really?
On that note, would you be down for a 1v1 grudge match versus Ziz at some point?
1v1 grudge match?
After this
Yeah.
race, we do have 2 hours before the next event. Would you be up for doing a little mini race against Zizaran, really settling this grudge between the two of you?
I mean, it says Duelist is his class, right? So let's go Duelist then.
Oh,
Uber knows what's up.
1v1 duelist, Gucci calling him out, saying, I'm going to beat you at your best. Well, that's going to be really interesting. We're going to have to get Ziz's reaction here, and we're going to move on over to Ziz. Gucci, thank you very much for the interview. Congratulations on your finish, and we're going to find out from Ziz what he thinks about your challenge. Let's get Zizaran in here ASAP.
Zizaran, please don't jump high. How's it going, man?
What?
I'm just saying, don't jump again, because the last time we pulled you in, or you got pulled in for an interview, that was
I remember. I was ready this time.
Well, Ziz, you might not have heard, as I don't know if you're watching the stream right now, but Gucci has just challenged you to a 1v1 duelist grudge match, saying that he can beat you at your best. What do you think to that?
Oh, I think he can. I just enjoy doing like the group races. I don't want to do a 1v1 race. But I think Gucci can beat me. He's really good.
So
I beat him in the last one, I think, though.
So he wants to do a 1v1 race with you right now, as we do have a little bit of time between this event.
I'm gonna order food. I'm hungry.
Stepping up to the challenge from Gucci at this time.
Oh,
no,
man.
I prefer like just like the normal races. I don't really like bad mannering and shit talking and stuff like that. I prefer just doing good in races when I can.
But you got him a shit person now, so.
What? No. He said if I'm ever nice to someone, you'll know my account is hacked. So then I asked, are you just a shit person then? And he didn't reply. I think that's a pretty fair question.
Well, we're Reddit here, so we like to take things out of context if we can.
That's fair.
So how are you
Definitely
feeling about the
understandable.
race? And the results of the race?
Yeah. I disconnected. I don't know if you guys saw, which was pretty shit. So I went to
Mhm.
take a bathroom break, which cost me like a minute.
Yeah, we saw the London servers went down. Apparently it went down for a whole lot of people.
Ah.
Yeah, and you were actually like timing into like logging in for a long time there. I believe the second you stepped away from the chair, the game logged you back in. So,
Oh, right. Yeah, I really needed to go to the bathroom.
and Havoc is telling us that if you had finished 2 minutes and 25 seconds earlier, you would have gotten second place.
All right. I don't think that cost me the race though. Like I was only gone like a minute, not 2 minutes.
You do have pretty quick bathroom breaks. Probably the disconnect would have really screwed you over.
Yeah. How much progress did you actually lose with the disconnect? Like I saw you were stuck on the login screen and unable to log back in.
100, 110 seconds max, probably.
So were you in just like the Val Ruins or?
Oh, actually, I had to run back too. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like halfway through Val Ruins, so maybe 2 minutes max. It's still not enough to win me the race.
So we do have a message here from Cute Dog saying that you did have a little bit of BM and he resubbed to you for 12 months and didn't even get thanked.
Yes, I did.
Would you like to take this opportunity to say something to Cute Dog?
I did say thank you. He just needs to watch the VOD again. Definitely said thank you for the 1 year, and I do appreciate it.
Yeah, Ziz always very good about thanking his resubs. So maybe Cute Dog's just trying to get an extra thank you. He does say sorry in chat, so maybe he just wasn't paying attention. And some people are asking, is Gucci's negative mental attitude affecting your positive mental attitude, or is your positive mental attitude just
Too strong?
Too strong? I mean, I feel like negative people are generally negative because they have something hard in their life and they want to like take out the aggression on other people. So I'm not really faced by it. I'm just going to continue being positive. As my friend Cute Dog would say, positive mental attitude.
Well, that's good to hear. We do appreciate your positive mental attitude over here. We do have a lot of 1v1 spam in the chat. So hopefully we do get to see that positive mental attitude versus negative mental attitude race sometime here in the future.
I mean, next time me and Gucci are in a race, we'll be racing against each other.
Yeah, for sure. Any closing thoughts on the race? Did you feel like you were prepared at all for the mines?
No, that's the thing. So I've raced Templar once in a race, and then I did like a 1 hour, 30-minute Val. Like I'm really, really bad at casters for racing.
Oh God.
So I've never raced. This is my basically in a proper race. This is my first time ever doing caster, and I don't even like when I'm racing caster. I'm always in a tabula, or I'm always like, not caring about the speed. Whereas like duelist, I actually practice. But I'm like, for example, in any game I play, I always prefer doing one thing over and over again. Like for example, when I was playing Han, I had 99.6% Zephyr for a while, over like 1,300 games. Like I just like playing one thing. I don't like diversifying. So I had like no experience going into this. Stood in the shops for like a really long time, going like, what can I buy?
And that's one thing I did notice. I believe you were the last person to get a +1 wand. So you think
I forgot about the recipe for a while. Yeah.
do you think you did pick up some tricks though that you like kind of learned or relearned during this race that you might apply to future races?
I mean, yeah, I'd rather not do a mines race again. I don't feel like it was fun to play. I don't feel like it was so fun to watch either. I had a lot of people saying anything but mines again. So
Was the community pick? I know that the 20-minute heads up. Do you think that was fair, or do you think that the community should have picked something a little bit more friendly for you?
no, I don't mind. I just feel like maybe it's harder for someone like a lot of the other racers. Like for example, Rise QT, right? He's like an absolute god at being diverse. Like you can go like, okay, go conversion drop Rise, and he'll probably be okay, right? Whereas I'm like so specialized that I'm like, even though I managed to win a couple of the other races I was in his duelist, I'm like the worst person ever at like playing things I'm not familiar with.
So if you
Well-
got to pick a skill that everybody had to race with that would give you the best chance of winning, what skill would that be?
Probably Sunder, but yeah, Ben Dim's still better at that.
Resident Sunder. I
Oh,
mean,
because-
at
Clean
least
sweep, I don't care.
at the very
Merveil.
least, you didn't have to play Summoner skill.
I was actually really excited to play Summoner because I actually know how to race Summoner.
Oh, okay. That's
SRS
interesting.
is pretty strong.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you were the commentator for the SRS race. That's
Yeah.
right.
I was actually excited when he started saying Min. I was like, yes, please be Minion. It was mine. And I was like, oh no.
One of the things we were kind of interested in seeing is if somebody was going to go like minion mines, like with SRS. And that might
People
be
were
interesting.
suggesting that in my chat.
Did you have any like was it always Fire Nova mines from the beginning? I know you were doing a lot of talking, a lot of planning. What other plans could you have gone with?
I was trying Frostbolt, but it wasn't one-shotting and I didn't get the links. As soon as I went for Brutus, actually, I was really regretting not doing what Gucci did, like not kill Brutus until I was like level 7. So I went like level 8 really fast so I could swap early, but I was like, fuck, this is awful. I probably lost like 5 minutes in like the prisons.
Do you think going Spark Mine would have been a?
Yeah,
Yes.
probably. Frostbolt was horrible. I hadn't tried anything, so I had no idea.
That was Freeq's choice. In
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah, I regret not going Spark. Would have been better for Brutus too.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Ziz. Congratulations on your finish. Even though you had a really tough time there, I definitely did admire sticking with it and getting that third place finish.
Thank you. See you later, and thanks for commentating.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for racing. We're going to be moving into SirCrushinton next here, also known as Sir Smurfington. Did not get to actually finish Izaro, but still did a really great showing. How are you doing, Sir Smurfington?
Yo, what up, guys? I'm feeling okay. I had some fun.
Had some fun. Okay. What was the fun that you had?
Just racing against the pros and trying my best. And I actually kind of like the feel of Fire Nova mines. It's not too bad.
I know that recently you just got bumped up from the semi-pro bracket into the pro bracket. Like, how did that feel for you?
I don't think I'm quite up to the pro bracket just yet, but I'm getting really close. It was kind of surprising at the end there. I felt like I could almost get second or third place.
It was definitely super close. I noticed that you didn't decide to level up to 27. I believe you were like 26 or 25 there for a long time. Making process behind that.
Yeah, my plan was try to just get as high as I can by the time I unlock all the trials. I didn't think I would hit like 28 and try to go Glacial Cascade mines, but if I happened to, I would have. But I heard that the other racers were already going in pretty early, so I kind of decided to just rush it as fast as I could.
So you did have a little bit of interaction from your chat, and do you think that kind of like led you astray and kind of like affected your game in a bad way?
Well, actually, I had the stream in the background, so I could hear what you guys were saying.
Oh,
yeah, I was trying the win strat.
The win strats. Okay. And then you mentioned Glacial Cascade is seeing wins play that, something that would have influenced that decision.
Yeah, definitely. The damage is just always insane. I've played like endgame Glacial Cascade mines, and it's really crazy damage.
Is there anything that you learned during this race that you're going to take and move forward with in future races?
I think I need to work on my Izaro fights. There are like a lot of moments where I should have just flame dashed a certain direction or at a certain time, and I just didn't, and ended up getting stun locked and died. So I think I'm gonna work on the Izaro fights and maybe reconsider trying to do the Dark Shrines. At least learn their locations ahead of time, and then if I need to during the race, I'll go and do them.
did you not?
The decoy totem is the one thing that like really set you apart from the other races. Muling that early. Do you think that helped or hurt you?
I'm not really sure. It kind of like puts a little bit more. It splits up your concentration a little bit because you kind of have to manage that totem, its placement, its health, all that stuff at the same time that you're trying to, get the objectives in the phase and try not to die and all that stuff. But I think it's a little bit better. I'm just not sure if it's worth the time muling and trying to concentrate on it.
Okay. I didn't. I try to remember how many trinkets you ended up getting for your final. Like as you're running through the lab, I believe that you skipped some of the trinkets, like the conduit trinket. Was that something you were considering doing, or just you weren't interested in doing that at all?
I considered it after the first death, but I didn't really know where they were, so I didn't really want to spend a lot of time on them.
Okay. Yeah, definitely practicing the lab beforehand can really give you a huge edge. Even like 2 to 3 run throughs, like as someone who's run a lot of lab, it will give you a lot of information right off the bat.
Yeah, I actually did that for the previous race, but this one I was just so unprepared. I don't know what to expect for the gem. I was kind of concentrating on that, and I just kind of forgot to practice it.
What did you think about the fact that you only had about 20 minutes before the race where you knew it was going to be a mine race to prepare?
Well, you can't really practice for that. You just kind of have to hope that you have the experience of racing with it. Unfortunately, I didn't have very much experience with mines, but I sort of knew what to do. I asked people some questions. I kind of knew what to do there.
Uber, did you have any questions for Mr. Smurfington here?
How did you feel about the frostbolt mines in the beginning?
Oh, it was horrible. I think you need the jewel or something to actually get that going.
Yeah, I think the same. Freeq's choice was to actually go spark mines. How do you feel about that?
I think you saw I tried it out on Merveil at the end there. It seemed pretty good. I kind of liked it. I think that with like added lightning is probably a lot of damage, isn't it?
Yeah, although you probably want the minefield instead.
Yeah, minefield, something that a lot of the racers didn't use very early on, but very, very strong. If you had to do this race all over again, what type of changes would you make?
Definitely going the spark mine route early on, and I don't know, just practice the lab more.
I know that there was a little bit of a talk between about a 1v1 about Ziz versus Gucci. I believe Ziz doesn't want to do that race right now. Would you be down for like doing a race versus Gucci? I know that he's been, helping you out, giving you some tips.
Yeah, I'd be down. I don't know if I can actually beat him unless I get some RNG, but I can try.
Okay.
Sounds like fun.
Additional questions
versus
for us or for any of the other racers?
Yeah, I'm down for any race. I love racing, so
anywhere, anytime, father versus son. And so yeah, thank you very much, SirCrushinton. Glad to see you in the pro bracket, and believe you did very well for your first showing here, and a lot of easy claps for you, and a lot of easy claps for everybody else in this race. It was very good showing, and very well performed for only having 20 minutes heads up for what skill. And right now we're going to pass this back on over to Mr. Havoc, and he is going to talk about what's going up next.
All right, thank you guys.
Yeah, thanks for racing.
Thank you, Don. Man, that was...
Havoc, take it away, I guess?
Yep, I got it. Thank you, Uber. Thank you, Don. That was a very exciting race. Wow, that was crazy. I didn't think Ziz was going to come back, but he got a rank 3 finish. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was really nice.
I honestly think that's my favorite thing about the Izaro race. Like, one guy's in the lead, but suddenly the guy in last place, third place comes out of nowhere, and they they surprise you. It's really fun.
A single lab death can set you back like 10 minutes almost, depending on where you die. So it can really change the game.
Indeed. So thanks again for commenting, guys. It was lovely. Coming up next, we will be having a short intermission, but after that, we may be getting a 1v1. I'm not too sure who's participating just yet, But don't go anywhere, guys. Be right back in a few minutes.